This is Enshrouded, a game full of wonder and mystery.
What you got, boy? See ya! You can't get me, son.
In this video, I spent 100 days in this fantasy foggy world, discovering the mysteries of the Shroud and cleansing this world of the ugly grandmas that roam it.
Whoa, bro, this guy is ugly.
Can we defeat all the bosses and upgrade our flame to become the most powerful person in this world? Let's find out. Welcome to my 100 days in Enshrouded. Hello homies and homettes, and welcome to our day one of this 100 days in Enshrouded.
Okay, I can get behind this. This is pretty cool. Okay, the Cinder Vault. Damn, the visuals on this are pretty crazy.
We eventually made our way outside into this big, vast, wide world. I was then met by some mystical floating words. I believe some people call them tutorials. I continued following this path, which led me to a mine shaft where there was an orange glowing thingy, which turns out to be a torch. I assume that's a clue for us to be able to move forward. Further on into this scary little mine shaft cave, we found an ominous fog where the glowing text called it the Shroud. Makes sense. I suppose that's why this game is called Enshrouded, right?
Oh, we are now enshrouded. Oh, there's a bad guy. Come here, bad guy. I just killed him with the torch. Torches are OP. Let's go.
After slaying a couple enemies, we saw the light at the end of this tunnel. Once we exited, we learned the workbench recipe. There was another glowing light, so I approached it. And this is the area that's designed for us to be able to build our first base. I picked up this stone, and then we learned a new recipe for the pickaxe. In this game, you learn recipes by picking up unique resources. Instead of traditionally trying to have to learn the blueprints, if you pick up a certain resource, any blueprint or crafting thing associated to that specific resource, you can now craft. First things first though, for us to be able to claim a base, we need a flame altar. This then sets down a plot of land that we can use to be able to build stuff on. We can eventually upgrade it to do a bunch of things, but I'll explain that a little bit later. But for now, I think it's best that I craft myself up an axe so I can start chopping down some trees to collect some wood that also unlocks a bunch more recipes and enough resources so I can craft myself a pickaxe that I use to dig at the ground. Yeah, so this is a voxel based game, which means everything is basically harvestable. You can build into the ground, you can build into the side of mountains, everything. I then went ahead and crafted up a workbench, which I can then use to be able to craft up a bunch of these stone blocks, like a lot of them, as many as I could possibly make, because that's exactly what I need to be able to start placing down some foundations for our base. The thing is, building a base can be kind of expensive, so we're forever looking for ways to be able to harvest more stone. Digging into the side of this mountain seemed to work quite nicely though. I just needed to be able to craft a bunch of these stone blocks, and I crafted some wood blocks just because I had the materials to do it as well. I'm not too fussed about this base currently. I just want to get it to a place that we can kind of just start using it. The base building style in this game is pretty unbelievable though. You can build in large blocks, or you can build single blocks like this, which means you can be as creative as you like. I know I can make a normal door, but I just wanted to kind of mess around with this little system here. You can even carve out some windows. This is kind of cool.
Hey, is it the right height? Wish I could see out this. That's a bit better.
I went out to do some exploring and found some tents. Also realized there was a bed that I could sleep in, which ended up turning the nighttime into daytime, which means I guess we've just hit day 2. There was a captain's journal here, but I ain't about to read that right now, and a chest that held some wooden arrows. We then discovered the Braylin Bridge.
Oh, that's morbid. That's a skeleton with an axe in its shoulder. Oh, grappling hook. Seek a path throughout the shroud instead. Bruh, what if I just wanted to cross the bridge?
Searching the local area, we discovered the Long Keep. This kind of ruins that's really right next to our base. We leveled up in the process too. Found a well full of water, which I guess is nice. And then a campfire, where we sat down next to and started singing Kumbaya. No, not really. We just started cooking our meat. At the back of the Long Keep, we found another shroud with some enemies in it. I slapped them around with my greatest weapon I have ever found, a torch. Kind of weird. We did get some torn cloth though that did unlock some recipes. We returned back to the workbench and I explored some of the options that we could craft.
Oh, okay, so manual crafting means we craft on ourselves. The workbench we craft obviously in the workbench. Oh, wand and staff. There's the rags. That's our basic ass armor.
As a point of difference, in this game there are 3 different class types that you can kind of play as. Your warrior, which is your standard melee kind of fighter. Your ranger, that uses obviously ranged attacks, archery, all that kind of stuff. And then your mage, that uses wands and staves and magic obviously. And there's a whole ass skill tree that kind of helps you skill up to those certain places that you want to play. You can adjust this to your own personal play style however you like. For now though, we just learned the masonry skill. This means we can harvest more resources a bit easier when using our pickaxe and, you know, stones and stuff. We'll choose our personal class a little bit later. For now, we're gonna go down and explore this shroud. I discovered these hourglasses that restore the time and help you stay in the shroud a little bit longer. And then another mine shaft. So of course I go in it. It was kind of underwhelming It didn't last very long, but we ended up finding our way to the other side of the bridge. We're actually on our way to our first major goal, finding the first NPC in this Enshrouded game. The NPC that we're looking for right now is called the blacksmith. I'm just gonna have to fight some unsavory characters before we head into the place where the blacksmith is held. I get my bow out and start shooting. It's kind of effective. Then I notice a wolf coming in to join into this fun. I try using my torch to attack these guys, but they do a lot more damage to me than I'm doing to them currently. I'm definitely gonna have to escape and rethink this right now. Once my health refills a little bit, I head on back over. This time I'm going for a more passive way of trying to get this blacksmith. Judging by my compass, the blacksmith should be straight ahead through this mountain. And yes, like I mentioned earlier, you can mine through basically any bit of land in this game. And because I'm a natural coward, I decided I'm gonna just try and mine my way through to find this blacksmith. That was until we made it to this wall, and my stone pickaxe just kind of wasn't really strong enough to do much to it. So I guess we're just gonna have to go back to the old-fashioned way and try and fight. I crafted myself up a wand and tried to use magic against these guys. It turned out to be damn effective.
Damn, why didn't I make a wand earlier? This thing freaking rocks.
Then we made our way into the ancient vault of the blacksmith. Yeah, that guy had no hope against me and my magic Harry Potter powers. And with that, we have now released Oswald Anders the blacksmith. Hey, hi. Hey there, it's me. Now, normally this would be an ad read section, but right now it's not. Right now, I just like to do a quick little shout out to all my links below. Go ahead, follow all my socials, especially the Twitch one, because I'm starting to stream a lot more over on Twitch. Come join us. Come hang out with the fam bam. It's gonna be fun, lively, all that kind of silliness. We're gonna be recording these 100 days live. Come on over, join us, hit the links below, follow the socials, bro. And you know, maybe like buy some merch if you like any of the designs or anything. You know, it all supports the channel. Thank you. Please, yeah, hit social links. Thanks. Yeah, no ad read today. Next time. Go back to the video. Enjoy it. You know, get some water. Hydrate. Do something like that. Yep. Sweet. Bye. One of the nifty things about this game is that I can fast travel back to our base from anywhere in the world, except the Shroud. You can't do it from the Shroud. Once we arrive back at base, I crafted up this summoning staff. This then allows us to summon, well, Oswald, the blacksmith. What does this guy do exactly? Well, he's basically like another crafting bench of sorts. Once we speak to him, he can craft up a bunch of blacksmithing style things, which includes armor. At this time, I could only make the chest piece, pants, and some shoes. It ain't the drippiest type of armor, but it'll do for now. The sun might be down, but we still have some work to do. I was mining this little area here, not only for stone, but also this flintstone. It's kind of hard to see the flintstone in the dark, but it kind of looks a little bit different. I needed the flintstone so I could make these stone shingle roof blocks, obviously so I could make a roof for our base. In this game, the building's kind of pretty different to what I'm used to, and I'm not the greatest builder to begin with. So yeah, this roof is kind of coming together a little bit scuffed. It really wasn't looking that nice. It was getting kind of late in the night here, so I crafted myself up a bed and went to sleep. Once we woke up, we realized what we need to do now. One of our first major goals is to find all the craftspeople, or NPCs, whatever you want to call them. We know that they're going to be essential for our progression in this game. I then had a peek in our flame altar. Now you need a bunch of resources to be able to upgrade it so you can then go on to do other things and progress in the game. But first, let's start by adding some storage into our base. We should have done this ages ago, but you know, we forget sometimes. Now that we have a little bit of armor and a wand to attack with, I ventured on into the Shroud right near our base, where I chopped down this weird fungus looking thing. Turns out it drops Shroud liquid, but that's not why we're really here. We're here to explore this elixir well that seems to be guarded by some really grotesque looking creatures, aka your mum, except this one kind of looks like my sister. We ventured on down into this elixir well to go and discover what it holds.
Okay, so we made it down to the bottom. Oh, fell thunder brute. Oh, what's up there, Big Daddy? You don't look friendly at all, son. Oh, okay, you're kind of slow. This might be predictable and easy to dodge your attack. Oh, crap, we fell. All right, I'm doing some pretty decent damage against you, man. You ain't got nothing on me, son. Yeah, this is... Oh, whew, this is quite easy. Ah, ha, ha, defeated.
And just like that, we had defeated our first boss and then encountered our first ever Shroud root. It says we need a felling axe to be able to chop it down. Yes, I realize I'm chopping it down with my sword, but yes, because I'm an idiot. Don't worry, we got the axe out in the end and that did the job.
Free. Elixir well cleared.
We then looted the dead body of that boss as well. He dropped his head and the misfortune mace that seems like a pretty decent weapon. We'd cleared the well, but on our way back up, we found a chest that held a pretty decent weapon.
Ah, the tainted axe. It's purple. Must be good.
Once we got to the top of this well, we noticed that the Shroud had seemed to clear up around this entire area, which made this guy easier to see and a good place for us to be able to test out these new weapons that we got. And also, since we cleared the Shroud up, we can now teleport out of here and get back to base easier. We returned back to base and spoke to Oswald. He then gave us 2 more quests. One to go visit a spire and another one to go and unlock the grappling hook. We often check our map to be able to get a rough idea on where we need to head to. And I know traversing the map in this game would be a lot easier with a glider. We're just missing a few ingredients to be able to craft it though. One of them being shroud wood. Since we're here, we might as well bully some of these locals as well. I also needed some fur for the glider as well. And this puppy volunteered its life so I could fly.
Heck yeah, glider acquired.
It wasn't until the following day that we got the opportunity to try out this glider.
Whee! This is actually pretty cool.
We had to quickly pass through the shroud so we could get to the other side to make our way to this. This is the spire. Thing is, I don't actually know how to get on up there. There seems to be a wall blocking us here. The only thing I know how to do is chop things down. We seem to be doing damage, so I assume this is a way through.
Oh, I should have got this axe out earlier. This is doing a much better job. Ah! We got through. Oh, there's a bad guy there. Take this chest though.
After having a little bit of a peek around, I realized we're probably not ready to be able to get up there yet. I think we're going to need ourselves a grapple hook. And I have enough metal scraps to be able to make one. I just need some string and some shroud spores, which I had lying around, so it wasn't that hard to make. I remember that the Braylon Bridge had a place that we could use the grapple hook on, so I went to go check it out.
Whoa, kind of reminds me of like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat mixed with Spider-Man. Yeah, it's a weird mix, I know.
We returned back to the place that we destroyed that gate and used our grapple hook to get up on top of it. Should have done this to begin with. There was a crazy scavenger man that was trying to shoot at us, but then we found a little ledge that we could use to be able to climb up. This part was a little bit steep, so I kind of just mined my way up to be able to make some steps. Then we made it to the bottom of this ancient spire. Heading on in, we were greeted by some interesting flames. I approached this weird glowing thing and turns out it teleports us to a new location.
Whoa, hello, new place. Suppose they don't really believe in stairs in this world.
These ancient spires don't have enemies inside, but they are completely made out of puzzles. And if you open the right doors, it leads you to some pretty decent loot as well. I'm glad we had a grapple hook before we came up here. If we didn't, we wouldn't be able to cross this. Some of these buttons require ranged weapons. Again, luckily we had one. Some rooms were a little bit warmer than others because it had lava, and lava's like hot. But once you step on enough of these glowing platforms, you eventually make it to the top. You go ahead and you commune with this flame. It speaks in some weird ass language, and then you have unlocked a new place that you can fast travel to. And this height paired with your glider makes it a great way to traverse this entire map. I mean, just have a look at what we can see here. This map is huge. Day 5 begins with us chopping down a bunch of trees. We're really trying to gather a bunch of wood so we can put it into this charcoal kiln to make, well, obviously charcoal. I then went back to check our journal, and it's probably best that we start focusing on our main goal and getting some of these NPCs. Checking our map, we just wanted to see where the closest one was.
Oh, the carpenter's over there, hunter's over there, farmer there. Oh, okay. What's this? Flame Sanctum. Let's go check that out.
Unfortunately, I kind of get a little bit distracted sometimes and go and do things that we probably shouldn't be doing. And this kind of happens a fair bit in this game too. We continue heading to the waypoint that we had set on our map. We find this cave passage that we have to try and get through. It has a couple wolfies protecting it, and they hit me pretty damn hard too.
The second one we better try and fight at a distance. Bro, why didn't I use the wand before? That absolutely wrecked me.
As we went further into this cave passage, we ended up finding the shroud, but this seemed to lead us to a dead end.
Where the hell are we? I'm freaking lost. Go back down here or not? I don't know what to do.
I then had an idea. I figured I'd just try and mine my way through this cave passage. We had the worst pickaxe in the game and very little stamina. So after a good 10 minutes of mining, we didn't make much progress. Checked my map to see if there was another way around, and it kind of doesn't really tell us much. Eventually, we made it up here on this kind of ledge here, which allowed us to get much closer to this flame sanctum. Eventually, we found it. I had no idea what one of these things really is.
Oh, that's one of those like respawn points. What's this? Oh, spark! Like the spark. These lovers sought refuge in the flame. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yes.
Turns out this little adventure was kind of a waste of time. So we teleported back home. We really need to be focusing on our main goal here. Slightly distracted again, I checked my flame altar to see what I needed to be able to upgrade it. And we gathered that spark earlier. We just need a few little ingredients and we can upgrade it. We just need some shroud liquid that we get from these weird fungus things. And a few other things that I had laying around the base. But now we could upgrade our flame altar to level 2. Day 6, I built some more storage boxes. With the way we're heading, we're definitely gonna need it.
Will I make it over there? Come on, come on. Ah, no, we're not even getting close.
Today, we're heading on over to go get ourselves the Hunter NPC. We managed to get around a few obstacles to be able to find our way over here and fight a few enemies along our way. Welcome to the ancient vault of the Hunter.
Whoa, big furry man. You're like little Bigfoot.
This vault was guarded by some rather hairy men or women. or I don't know what they were. Once we entered the building, we saw some electricity flowing through the air, and it seemed to kill some of these hairy men or women. This building was a little bit of a puzzle, but nothing as crazy as the spire was. Then we found the egg that the hunter was located in. I don't know why all the NPCs just didn't go into one room. Seems like a weird thing to me, but hey, I suppose it's a video game and that's kind of what they do. Now, I could have teleported straight home and explore what the hunter could do, but I found a really high point and it was a really cool place to be able to glide. And it was probably a good opportunity to explore and see if we could find some juicy loot. I was curious to see if we could mine this fungus. Turns out it's called mycelium, and now we had unlocked a new recipe. After having fun exploring, we teleported back home. But before I could summon in the hunter, I had to mine some stone so that I could craft some more rough stone blocks and build a little bit of an extension on our base. Because if we're going to have all these extra NPC crafters, we're going to need more space to be able to hold them. We put the roof on this place and it made this place dark, so we had to add some torches around it. And then I could summon in this hunter. This hunter allows us to be able to craft a bunch of new recipes, including animal fur, some torches, different type of armor set that specializes in more of a ranger class, and some pretty cool decorations as well. We can unlock a bunch more recipes a little bit later. Now that we've got the hunter secured, it's time for us to go out and get ourselves the alchemist. Judging by the map, it seems like the closest option for us compared to the carpenter.
Looks like we're gonna have to cross this shroud. Can we get as close as possible to the other side? No, but we'll go check out this tower.
There was a tower in the shroud. I was curious, so of course I went to go check it out. Turns out that was a bad idea.
Holy crap, there's freaking heaps of them. And he one-hit me? Oh, man.
One of the things about this game is the food. Every time you eat food, cooked food specifically, it gives you a bit of a buff. Meat typically gives you a health buff. Mushrooms or funguses can give you an intelligence buff. Water or liquids can give you a stamina buff. There's a whole bunch of different foods that can do different things. So if you take a look at our health bar, as we eat, our maximum health increased. And the food buffs are crucial. That was definitely one of the things that I was missing when I tried to fight those guys in the tower.
Are they all just lined up there? Oh, man, I just want to get my stuff back. Ah, freaking bugs. You guys creep me out. Forget it. You guys can have all my stuff.
Anyways, we found a farm that seemed to have some corn. So I stole all the corn. Well, the amount that I could find at least. Most of this wasn't fully grown. Then I went into some ruined temple and found a dead guy. Well, an undead guy. Now he's just a dead guy. Then we finally found the building that held the alchemist. It was just defended by some scavengers. I really do like the combat in this game. Being able to dodge roll and jump around and kind of like fight in a Souls-like type of combat makes it quite interesting. And sometimes the enemy's attacks are quite predictable. You just wait for their animation to start and dodge roll away. Anyways, I got to enter this building after I defeated a bunch of these weird scavengers. Except there was a few more inside waiting for me. I laugh at the fact that he starts swinging, I step away, and he's still swinging. We found the alchemist, but we also found some other people that needed to die. The exciting thing about finding these craftspeople NPCs is every time you do find them, you unlock a bunch of new recipes. Let me introduce you to Balthazar the Alchemist. Again, did I teleport back to base? No. You gotta remember, in games like this, exploration is very important. Kind of like remembering that you need stamina in order to glide.
Ah, damn it, I forgot about the stamina.
On my way back to base, I went to the tower with all my stuff still down there. And because we found ourselves a nice little ledge, we were able to attack from above. Well, not really. We kept missing because I think we were a little bit too far away. Instead, I went down there and tried to kite them one by one. That didn't work. They all came down for the fun. But thanks to some swift moving around and some food, we were able to kill most of them. But not all of them. I had these two guys and one of them managed to hit me. So I think it was time for us to run away and get out of this fight. Sometimes you have to just accept that you're defeated. I roasted some of the corn cobs when we got home and found a nice cozy spot to place Balthazar the Alchemist. Now this craftsman specializes in magic and mage kind of stuff, obviously, but he also produces health potions and mana potions and all that kind of stuff as well. Anyways, I went to go visit Oswald because now I could craft a forge where we could turn charcoal and metal scraps into metal sheets. Except at this time in the game, I didn't know how to get my hands on metal scraps. I just seemed to be collecting them kind of randomly. I did though have enough metal scraps to be able to make a scrappy pickaxe, which is obviously better than our crappy little stone one. Now that we have gathered a bunch of craftspeople, we also gained a few quests. But before completing another quest, I wanted to go and clear another elixir well.
Dude, I swear gliding in is just such an epic move.
Every elixir well is a little bit different, so we approach them all quite cautiously. One of the biggest pests in this game are these little bugs. Now, they're not very strong, but they swarm you pretty hardcore. Every time I come down here, though, I'm always looking out for a boss-type enemy. This elixir well didn't have a boss, but it did have a lot of enemies, and some that were pretty damn strong.
Ouch, that hurt.
But every time we cut down one of these shroud roots, we gain very valuable skill points. I returned back to that farm area from earlier, mainly because I checked on the map and saw that there was a question mark, which usually means that there's something to be discovered there or it's a quest. And yes, I am very aware that I am dying at this current stage. I then made some strings that I could turn into some bandages, obviously so I could, well, heal myself. To get to the destination on the map that we were trying to get to, we had to travel into the shroud again to fight some of the most dangerous people we've fought yet. Yeah, they're all like level 5s and, you know, they're strong. strong. We risked our lives fighting a multitude of enemies only so we could collect this salt. Yes, this is all that was that we came here for. Pretty disappointing. But in actual fact, getting that salt wasn't all bad. I'll explain why in a second. First, we got to place down a new grinding stone and this drying rack. The grinding stone can grind these bones up into bone meal, which we can use later on for fertilizer or soil and stuff. But the drying rack can turn this fur into dried fur once mixed with salt. Yes, salt. The stuff that we got from that place earlier. It was worth it. One of the best things in this game is being able to fast travel to these ancient spires. It makes exploring this entire world so much easier, mixed with the glider, of course. And like I mentioned earlier, this map is so damn big, there's a lot of area to cover. Problem I find myself in sometimes is sometimes I go a little bit AFK, or I kind of just let the time run. This day was one of those prime examples, because just like that, it's already nighttime. But that's okay, we're on a mission to go and find our next NPC. The only other thing is, I just didn't know some of these guys from the Shroud come out at night, like not in the Shroud. And these guys are all level 7, which means they're significantly tougher than anything we've fought yet. But me using my crackling wand and my fire abilities against these guys is showing to be quite effective. I'm really liking the concept of being a mage in this 100 days. And just like that, even though we wasted most of the day AFK, we now entered the ancient vault of the farmer. Now the farmer's held basically just behind this door. I just had to figure out some of the puzzle pieces to be able to unlock it. And of course, we had to try and avoid some dangers, because what is a puzzle without dangers, right? We just need to find 3 of these buttons. That's button number 1, and it illuminates a light over the door once it's actually completed. I thought I was being quite tricky when I found this hidden chest behind this hidden wall.
Oh, what's inside this? Ring of Stamina. Yeah, that's pretty good. Do we even have a ring yet? Hey, it's our first ring. Nice.
After a bit of Spider-Manning around this place, then we had to dodge some of these crazy spikes that would hit you in the butt to then find the 3rd and final button, which then unlocked and opened the door for us to be able to go and collect Emily Frey, the farmer. It was the next day by the time that we left the ancient vault of the farmer. So I explored the local area and got attacked by a bunch of level 11 bees.
Yeah, we're gonna stay away from there.
But we did find a cool vantage point to look down at the ancient vault. As we were running down, I then went and picked a fight with a flower. Surely a flower can't do much to me. Well, that was until it spat on me and then put this weird substance on my face. And it almost killed me. If I didn't use the health potion, I probably would have died. Back at base, I placed in our new friendly NPC.
Shelter? What do you mean shelter? Oh, you've got to be inside? What kind of farmer's gonna be inside the entire time? Come on, man, you should be outside.
Yes, turns out you have to have all your NPCs under some shelter. Currently, the farmer can't really make too many things. I think we're gonna have to go out and unlock a few more recipes soon. But first, we need to go out and collect our very last NPC friend. Thing is, on the way to finding our last friend, the carpenter, there was a random shroud root just chilling out in the open and wasn't being defended by anything. Which means if I chop down this big, erect, red pulsing thingy, I get some free skill points. We eventually made it to the ancient vault of the carpenter, but the outside was protected by this shroud and also had some nasty people inside that tend to hit pretty damn hard too. Like, really hard. It's okay though, because our spawn point was right outside it. They probably knew that I was useless and was gonna die. This time, I was smart. I aggroed everybody at the same time. Yes, like a freaking idiot.
All right, Mr. Person hidden behind the smoke. Ow, whoa, that hurt. Where are you? Yeah, okay. Oh, I see a guy in the back. He's on his way in. Oh. Aha, dodged that. Too slow, bro. Whew. Got away. Hey, can I get my stuff back at least? Yes, we get the dollar back. Thank you very much.
Diving in further, we had definitely entered the ancient vault of the carpenter now. But it was protected by these little pests again. I'm about to die. I start slashing with my sword, and that seems to do the job. Psych, I died. All right. 3rd time's lucky, I guess. At least this time, most of the things are already dead and they haven't respawned yet. But these bugs are definitely the worst thing in this game. They freaking suck and so annoying. And sometimes you have to watch out for certain things that like to explode in your face. We then discovered a rather interesting enemy. I call her the skinny lady that floats. Her wind attack thingy there, well, basically has aimbot. It's impossible to dodge. Except for that moment, I just dodged it.
Oh, this looks like one of those moments where I have to actually chop through this or mine through this to be able to get through. Oh, creative gameplay, friends. Creative gameplay.
We made it through to the carpenter location and just had to defeat this very last floating screaming lady. She sure does like to moan, and not in the good way. We then freed Cade Hawthorne the carpenter. I made my way out of the shroud so I could fast travel back to base, then used my summoning staff to summon in Cade the carpenter. This handsome one-eyed ginger crafts a bunch of new items that are pretty damn helpful. One item in particular is these magic chests. Easily my favorite item in this entire game.
The items stored here can be used for crafting purposes from anywhere in the base. Oh my god, dude. What do you mean? It's like wireless crafting.
Yes, these magic chests are unbelievably amazing to have. You have no idea how much easier and quicker the process of crafting items in this base will be. Okay, so now we have all of the craftsman NPCs. Each one of the craftsmen have different tools scattered around the entire map. For example, the alchemist has a mortar and the hunter has a hand spindle. I've decided that I'm going to go down the mage class, so the first thing I want to go get is the alchemist mortar. Just gotta make our way there. We followed the waypoint on our compass and it led us to this house that was hanging out of the shroud.
Location below. Looks like we're going into the shroud. Now what? I assume it's in this house somewhere. Alchemist, mortar, and pestle. Where are you?
Even though it says location below, we went all the way up. At the time, I wasn't really looking at the location below thing. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Once I finally realized that we actually had to go down to get this mortar and pestle, well, we went down and found this scary looking dungeon.
Oh, it's just in there. I see it. How the frick do we get through this? That's another one of them puzzle things.
I couldn't figure out how to get through, so I checked my journal to see if there was any clues.
There must be some sort of hidden mechanism to open it somewhere in the tower.
Okay, I guess that means up we go. Again, looking for a hidden mechanism. I didn't really know what we were looking for. I checked to see if the bookshelf had something that, you know, you can kind of pull. I've watched a lot of movies that it sometimes works. In this case, it doesn't. I checked behind the stairs, see if it was there. Couldn't see anything. Broke down some wooden planks so we could get outside, then some more so we could go back inside, only to find a note that updates our quest. Did I read it properly? No, because I saw this. This is obviously the button we need to be able to get through. And I was right. There we have it. The alchemist, mortar, and pestle. I have no idea why he left it all the way over here. That's kind of weird. But hey, we got it at least. I go back to base and then place this mortar and pestle right down next to the alchemist. Now the alchemist has a bunch of other recipes that we can now craft. Like better health potions, better mana potions, the wisp of light, and you know, other stuff. Day 12, we're checking our quests and seeing what we need to complete. There's a whole bunch that we need to go through. And that's kind of our goal right now, is to try and tick off most of these main quests. You know, sometimes I just run around spamming E, especially when there's some sort of stuff around. And it seems like we learned some new recipes. Then we picked up some fireflies or something. Whilst exploring, we came across this weird kind of, I don't know, gross thing growing out of the ground. Once I started mining it, we discovered that it's clay. This is like a mid-tier resource that you kind of find only in this like jungly kind of area. And it actually has quite a few uses in this game. Following this waypoint, we came up to this weird looking shroud. Yeah, currently it's red. It's called the Deadly Shroud. Basically, if we touch it, we pretty much die. But I'm pretty confident that we can glide over the top of it. If we just make it down to that oh yeah, no, we're definitely not going to make it.
Oh no. Oh crap, look at that time running to the... Yeah, we're dead. We're dead. D-E-D, dead.
I respawned somewhat nearby, so I made my way back over. And I remember that there's a flame sanctum nearby, so we went into there just so we could get another respawn point. And some sparks, because why not? I tried to find a different way over this deadly shroud. That's where I found this bridge. But I could also hear some enemies in the distance that I didn't really want to encounter. They were level 13s, which means they're pretty much a lot stronger than we currently are. I ran away to escape, but also wanted to try my luck at fighting them too. That didn't work out in my favor at all. But we could spawn back rather close, and I was able to get my stuff back without too much trouble. We're clearly not currently equipped for this quest right now. It was probably best to go back to base, drop off all the things that we've gotten, and find something else that we can do. Possibly like this elixir well. It's a lot closer to our current level, and we know once we complete it, we'll get some skill points that will help us get stronger. And at face value, this elixir well looks pretty straightforward. I mean, I could normally just run around and get down there and have to fight a bunch of people, or we could just glide straight on in. This way's a little bit more fun in my opinion.
Yeah, what up, suckers? Oh, there's a big guy here too. Oh no. That was a little bit hasty of me. Get rid of these guys first. Ouch! Ouch, 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 ouch. Oh, there's freaking bugs here as well. All right, as long as we avoid that big guy. Oh, we gotta get rid of this archer. Oh no! Maybe I shouldn't have just dove straight in. Our stamina's really holding us back. Oh, there's more bugs over here too. Oh, the big guy's there again. Oh, don't die. Okay, he got a free shot. He didn't even do anything.
Well, yes, I think from that we learned a very important lesson. That lesson is I low-key suck at video games, and I'm kind of impatient when it comes to, you know, some of these things. Like, my health is dangerously low right now, and I have no way to heal myself. Maybe I should be more prepared. We get through a few challenges, but our health is not going up at all. And then we learn important lesson number 2 from the same teacher as before. Again, we're biting off way more than we can chew. I have no food to be able to increase my health bar or any bandages to be able to heal myself. I'd like to make note that I did get this game in early access before it was released. So there's no tutorials out and I just was kind of learning how to do things on my own. But yeah, I think anybody in their right mind would know. Maybe put a helmet on. You know, extra protection in every part might make a big difference. That should be common sense. I'm an idiot. Now's probably a good time to start cooking up some meat. Did we go back to the elixir well? No, we went out to do some more exploring to see if there was something in kind of the easier areas that we can kind of do easier. I noticed this thing glowing in the distance. It's called an ancient obelisk. Of course, my curiosity got the better of me and we went to go approach it. This gave us a whole new quest line, but I don't think it's that important, so we don't really spend too much time on this. Well, until later, that is. I ended up finding these little ancient ruins just out in the middle of nowhere. So I went to go investigate because it was strange to be here and noticed that there was stairs that went down. And again, I'm stupid, so I went down them. Or am I a genius because there's some good loot down here too, if I could just get to it.
Oh, shepherd staff. I mean, I think that's good. Another chest, forest longbow. I'll take it.
This little creepy crypt had some spiders in it that we had to get by and some floor traps that you can kind of just walk around if you just go around the side of the room. All of this led to this last random grave that was glowing. It had a blue hatchet in it, so I'm assuming that's good. And yeah, that was basically the entire ruins. Kind of not that exciting, but hey, that was our day. Day 14, we returned to the spire. We're gonna do this a lot in this game. It seems like the best way to be able to get around. We're currently making our way to a mission point. This one called A Story of Rot. Seems like it's in this place called Netherton, a little city deep inside the shroud. With my brand new weapon that we got from that crypt earlier, I started slaying some of the enemies, but I got overwhelmed really quickly by a bunch of them. I tried escaping, but one of the guys is just really damn fast, and I ran out of stamina at a really unopportune time. I quickly went back to base, knowing that I need health potions. Problem is, I can't make these big ones, but I can make the small ones. The one frustrating thing about this game currently is that in the early game, it takes ages to be able to get from one place to another. Like literally, it took us a good 10 minutes to be able to come back and get our stuff, but I did consume the right amount of food and have those health potions on me, which means these enemies this time didn't really stand a chance against me. I kind of cheesed it by hiding behind this fence here. Then I found a glowing box, if that's what you'd call it, and found roughly cut stone blocks. New building piece? That would be kind of cool for base, I guess. I won't lie though, I thought that was the quest completed. It wasn't. The quest wasn't in the shroud at all. We had to climb the side of this mountain, and I kind of cheesed my way up by just spamming spacebar. Turns out this quest was just to be able to discover another ancient obelisk. Really, I don't know what's going on with these obelisks, and they're probably got something to do with the lore, and I'm probably supposed to read it, but I just don't. I don't really care for it. But you know what I do care for? Harvesting flint. No, really, it was leveling up. Yeah, I care for leveling up because, yeah, we need to level, get stronger. We keep getting our ass kicked. We gathered a bunch of resources that I figured I want to try and test out some of the building mechanics again. I tried changing the floor up a little bit, but I kind of scuffed it a bit. I accidentally took a chunk out of the ground at the front of my base here. It's okay though. I could just plug it up with, you know, some foundations, I guess. If I was a bit more creative, we could make that look better, but yeah, I'm just not that smart. Once the sun went down, I went back out on another adventure. I figured maybe discovering more of these lands or maybe even more materials and resources and stuff could be a way for us to be able to get a bit stronger. Whilst we're out on this adventure though, we discovered another ancient spire, and we now know that ancient spires are good fast travel points, so they're good for us to be able to conquer these towers. Because we started this tower at night, it's yeah, already daytime before we completed it. I found a golden chest in here that held this legendary weapon, and just like all the other ancient spires, there's a bunch of obstacles that we have to overcome and certain puzzles that we need to figure out. Like this one, I couldn't figure out for the longest time. I kept running around the same area trying to figure it out, but again, I'm not that smart, especially when it comes to this kind of stuff. Usually I'd kind of just go on YouTube and check out a tutorial or something, but it was at this point I had a light bulb moment.
Oh, I know exactly what to do. I'ma just need this bow right here. I stand on this and then I shoot the target. Oh, I'm an idiot. I got an ammo. Hold on real quick. I can just make myself a couple of arrows and shoot. See, simple. Now what? Oh, it's just a chest inside with one health potion. Wow, that was so underwhelming.
Now that was one puzzle down. The next puzzle I had to try and figure out was this. I had to grapple hook to go grab onto this wall, and then I had to climb up this wall without running out of stamina. As you can see by my little stamina bar there, I probably won't make it. So with no real options, we ran out of stamina, had to fall down and get hit by these little spikes again. I then checked my inventory and saw that I had the Flask of the Fell, which gives us some extra stamina.
Well, let's try this one again. We make it over. Oh yes, we've got more stamina. We just need to make it up to here. Oh, we made it. Okay, there's a button. Press this. Now what?
We didn't have to worry about our stamina anymore. We just had to worry about getting ourselves down onto this little ledge here, which obviously wasn't that hard. And this little ledge led us to another golden chest. And just like that, we have unlocked the ancient spire of the Low Meadows, located to the south of the map. We then quickly came back to base to drop off some of our goods that we had collected, but we didn't stay too long. Once we had emptied our sack, we went straight back to the ancient spire that we just unlocked. There was a quest really close by lie that I wanted to try and complete. Judging by our waypoint, it says it's in this buried tomb. Another creepy place with some mysteries behind some really random doors.
Dude, this place gives me the heebie-jeebies. Spiderwebs and skeletons, actual spiders. Ugh. Oh, it's getting dark, really dark. Oh. Yeah, thank you, little wisps or light thingies or whatever. There's not enough light. Haha, lucky that those traps would have got us.
I went on further in and then I saw a dude that was glowing green. He was a level 7, hit me once, he was really tough. But then I had an idea. What if I let him into this trap area?
Oh my god, it worked! Dude got wrecked.
Moving further on in, there were other enemies there as well. So I just repeated the same process, luring them all into this trap room. I gotta admit, this was quite a genius idea. They all fell for it. Then we made our way to the final room, which held this casket that held this, the Eternal Ice Bolt. Yes, this was the quest the entire time. We had to come and collect this spell. Basically, an Eternal spell is a spell that you can use unlimited amount of times. Every other spell you can only use a finite amount of times. They can use less mana and sometimes can be a little bit more powerful, but you're limited by the amount of times you can use it. And yes, you may have noticed that we're running out of time in this shroud. 17 seconds left to go. I can't find my way out. 3, 2, 1. We don't make it out of here. We die in the shroud. I think I spent too much time luring those enemies into the trap. I checked my inventory and we still had our Eternal Ice Bolt. I didn't really care about all the other things that we gathered. That night though, while we were exploring around, we found this chest just chilling in the ground. It had an alchemist ring in it. Definitely an item that I think would be an advantage for us. It's now day 16 and we have now unlocked a new magic storage chest, the medium chest. But in order to make it, I need 2 metal sheets. I need to cook up charcoal and metal scraps in the forge. Now currently I do have enough metal scraps to be able to make 1 medium-sized chest, but I'd like to gather some more. And I finally figured out how to do exactly that. Yes, you need to kill scavengers. And that's why we came to this scavenger camp. Well, there was a couple reasons too. I wanted to come out here so I could try and farm some experience points so we can level up as well. And there's a boss here that I wanted to try and kill. Scavenger Gorga Matron. Honestly, this wand was doing a ton of damage towards him. It made this light work. Killing it gave us a lot of experience points, except I got a little bit too close and didn't know that they explode once they die. We didn't have too much trouble finding our stuff though. But when we did, we went and broke everything so we could gather some more metal scraps and made sure to kill all the scavengers in this entire camp. I always keep a couple different wands on me because certain enemies react different to certain types of elements. We had just picked up this scorching wand from fighting the boss, but scavengers seem to be resistant against fire. It seems that ice does the most amount of damage, which is a shame because this new wand is pretty good at this level. I continued to clear the rest of this place out, collecting all the items and mainly metal scrap that I could gather, then came home with all my spoils of war. Now that we had some metal scraps and a bunch of other resources, I could then make some better armor. And since I've decided to be a mage of sorts, obviously I got my armor from the alchemist. We're wanting to specialize in using our wands, so mana's not really a big thing for us since we're not going to use staffs. But do I look like a wizard, Ari? Since we had previously encountered some deadly shroud, we probably need to upgrade our flame. I checked to see what we needed, and yeah, we need a few things that we don't quite have yet. I quickly whipped up our first magic chest. We only made the small one for now, and I kind of forget why. I'm sure there was an important reason. Day 17, we make our way out to a new location. It's quite a bit away, so it's going to take us a little bit to get there. We must climb the side of mountains, fight some unwanted wolves, and I might as well collect some clay. We had to somehow get around this mountain to the right of us, as that's where our waypoint on our map was leading us to. I saw this cave entrance, checked my map, and it seems that right on the other side of this cave is our destination. This cave held some interesting items, like these blue glowing mushrooms, a glowing substance just in the middle of nowhere, and some overgrown bacon. We had then made it to our destination, Thornhold. This is where we should find the table saw for the carpenter. Just gotta be wary of some traps that you can luckily disarm.
And some enemies. Oh, that guy's like a green dude. He's always fast. Oh, and he's resistant to my fire. Okay, yeah, we gotta get out of here. Go, move, 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 move. They're keeping up. Bro, we can't even get away. Oh, there's 2 of them. No, 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 no. Get out of there, get out of there. No, okay. GG's.
That just confirmed we're way not strong enough to be over there right now. Fun thing though, I collected some charcoal out of my kiln and unlocked a bunch of new recipes, including some fighter armor and the blacksmith. Some of this gear might actually be pretty good for us, and it's cheap enough for us to be able to make. I made the rising fighter chest armor. It has some really good physical resistance and will hopefully protect us from some of those scavengers that keep smacking us around. Day 18, we returned back to Thornhold. Well, kind of. We only came back to come and get our stuff. We know that this area is way too hard for us, so instead we're gonna head on home. But first, I found a whole wall full of copper ore. It was up kind of high, so I kind of considered this a challenge and wanted to get up there so I could mine it all. Took us a little while, but we finally got up there so we can mine all of this copper. The only problem is, this little pickaxe isn't really that great, and this whole process took a long time. After we collected all that copper, it was time for us to go on home. Even though we did get our ass kicked in Thornhold, we did gather some really cool new resources. Next, I crafted up the kiln and placed it next to our carpenter friend. This thing makes some fired bricks. I'm not too sure what it does right now, but it only requires clay and wood to be able to make it. I had to go down to the shroud once again to go collect myself some shroud wood and some shroud liquid while I was here as well. Now, why did I need to collect all these things? Because they were the last ingredients to be able to upgrade our flame altar. Next, I spoke to the hunter and made ourselves a small backpack. This gives us a bunch of new inventory space, and now that we're collecting a bunch of new resources, it's probably a good idea to get another magic chest down. Final little chore for today is making this seed bed. The seed bed is what we use to be able to get more seeds, obviously, for us to be able to regrow a bunch of the vegetation in this world. Day 19, I had a look on the map and noticed that there was a shroud route nearby, so I figured I'd go and clear it out so I could get some easy skill points. But then I ran into one of my worst enemies, the side of a mountain.
Wait, how the hell did we die there? Did we just double die?
I admit, there's one thing I do like about this game is the fact that you can get your items back easier when they do fall in the shroud or whatever.
Get our stuff back. Oh, crap, we fell again. I'm glad. Oh, there's the shroud route. Damn it.
We found the location of the shroud route. I just have to try and figure out how to get down there somewhat safely.
We freaking missed.
This is attempt number, I don't even know, but we finally made it in there. There were no enemies, so chopping this guy down was quite easy. And we got ourselves some easy skill points. Day 20, and we're out on an exploration mission. Seeing that there's a deadly shroud just there and a new biome over there, and down here is all unexplored, I figured this might be the place to come to. And this is where we discovered a new camp. It's not a scavenger camp like the last place that we visited. There's a lot of fur here and some different types of furniture. This is the Vuka Ceremony Hill. Did I pronounce that right? Who freaking knows? Because right now, I've got bigger things to worry about. Like fighting this big-ass hairy thing that resembles my auntie. Fighting this big wannabe King Kong was kind of tricky at first. See those little green things coming out of those little... I don't even know what they're called. Well, they're healing this big beast. So whilst I try and dodge some of this big beast's attacks, I have to take out these little healer magic dudes. Figuring out some of the combat mechanics in this game is part of the process of dying. Yeah. It's okay though, because we now know how to defeat this guy. Firstly, we got to kill these guys because they're the things that are healing the big Vuka brawler. And once those shaman witches were defeated, all we needed to do was dodge my big auntie's attacks and keep attacking with our fire wand attacks. In the end, it was quite simple, and we were able to defeat this big hairy beast, claiming its head as our trophy and getting a pretty decent wand with it too. Back at our base, we had some shrub seedlings. I was only making these things to test out kind of how all this stuff works. Again, there was no tutorials out, so I had no idea how to farm. I didn't know that this isn't really the right way to do it. You know, you could make farming soil, all that kind of stuff. I didn't know it yet. Day 21, we checked our flame altar to see what we needed to be able to upgrade it. And some of these resources, including amber, I've never seen before. I did know if we wanted to be able to get further into this game, I'm going to have to unlock another ancient spire so we can at least fast travel to it. To be able to get to this next ancient spire, we had to travel through some rather dangerous places, which we're kind of used to by now. When I realized that I can't fight certain enemies, I just have to run around them and try and get away.
Dude, this cave passage is way longer than I thought it was going to be. God damn, finally we out. And the spire should be just out here somewhere. Ooh, chamomile. Take that.
Now we had finally found the ancient spire. Just like every other ancient spire, we're gonna have to complete all the puzzles and avoid a lot of traps to be able to get through it. Whilst we were exploring through it though, I picked up these copper bars. Now picking up these copper bars then led us to be able to unlock a ton of copper recipes. Moving on to copper recipes means we should be able to progress pretty well, I hope. And with that, I knew it was a pretty good idea to smash and bash a bunch of these like items that are around the whole tower. You really never know what you're gonna find in here. But just like that, we had unlocked the Revelwood Ancient Spire. This ancient spire is definitely a game changer in terms of progression for this entire game. It's probably one of the most popular spires that you travel to in the mid game at least. And really close to this ancient spire was a massive clay deposit, so we could just farm this as much as we wanted. Now that we've unlocked the new ancient spire, it's probably a good idea that we craft some different things like this improved grappling hook and definitely start working towards upgrading our flame altar. Day 22, we went back to our brand new ancient spire in the Revelwoods, this time on a mission to retrieve one of the blacksmith's items. That's when we came to the Mark of Sameth. I don't really know what that means, but I'm sure it's kind of important or something. It seems like a scavenger camp to me. Apparently, this is where we can find the blacksmith's crucible. This is like an old mine shaft that we had to search around. I started heading up because I figured this is where it could be. Had to fight some scavengers along the way, but we're starting to get a little bit stronger, so they were quite easy. Thing is, we just couldn't find this freaking crucible. Feels like we looked everywhere by this point, even accidentally set off some mines, like a lot of them. And once I checked checked my map. We were way far away from where it's supposed to be. If I couldn't find the crucible, I wasn't going to go back to base empty-handed. I found some copper sitting in a wall, so I harvested that, so at least we had something. I eventually went back to the Mark of the Sameth and somehow ended up in another cave passage full of some scary wolves. Our mission destination was supposed to be 156 meters in this direction, so I just tried to mine in that direction.
What the hell am I doing? This isn't gonna work. I need to think of something else.
Day 23, the shrubs that we planted earlier are now all grown up. They only produce plant fiber and twigs. It's not that great, but now we kind of know how this works. Another trip back to the Revelwood's ancient spire means another chance for us to use our glider.
Alright, we just have to get down there, but not like all the way down. Oh crap. Oh no, that fully lost a lot of height.
I just need to make that ledge. Are we gonna make the ledge? Nope. I didn't make it up this mountain, but maybe we can mine our way up. We attempted this for quite a while, and when it wasn't working, I was trying a different angle, and then I fell down into this hole.
Oh no! Oh, we're stuck in a... Damn it, this is a really, really bad predicament.
Getting stuck down here was quite the pain in the butt, but we just had to mine our way out of this mycelium and try and not die from the fall. Now we're just gonna explore through this shroud, try and find things that we haven't been able to find yet, and avoid getting blown up. We did encounter a few pretty tough enemies. Thanks to my new blink ability, I was able to dodge most of their attacks and defeat him. We found a little forest that's kind of a little break spot for us out of the shroud. When you're exploring it like we are now, you never know if you're gonna get lost in there and can't get out. I eventually found myself at this elixir well. Some of the enemies down here are quite tough. Some of the strongest enemies we've ever fought. I tried using my strong guillotine weapon, but ultimately it just keeps you too close to these guys and they can hit you too hard. We just had two scary monsters fight us, but the most dangerous thing in this game was my failure at blink dodging.
Yep. We deserve to die now. That kind of sucks.
We got our stuff back, thankfully. I do really appreciate that mechanic. The fact that our stuff didn't get lost down in that little lava or deadly trout. I don't know, whatever you call it. This whole elixir well was full of these deadly ass flowers. They were honestly a real pain in the ass, except for when they level us up. And then we had to fight the aimbot freaking floating witch, who almost destroyed us. Thankfully, we got away and I was able to heal myself. We made our way down to the shroud route, but there was two of those big bosses.
Holy crap, two of these bad boys. Oh no, this is gonna be interesting. How the frick are we gonna do this? And they're both high level.
I continued to run away, turn around, and fire off a couple of shots. The thing that made this particular fight quite difficult was the fact that there was two of them. One of them, their moves are pretty predictable and I can get around it. But two of them, it makes it so much harder. Our time in the shroud was starting to run quite low, so I quickly climbed up all the way to the top so I could recharge our shroud batteries, then go straight back into this fight. I thought I was gonna be quite safe up here. I was wrong. This almost took me out of the fight, but it also gave me a new angle to be able to fight. You see, that boss can't attack me at all, and I can just melt away his health. I continued back down to the shroud route. Where is that other boss? I have no idea. All I care about right now is chopping down the shroud route and gaining some valuable skill points. I did notice that the boss was near the exit. I mean, I couldn't leave without having a fight, right? Especially now that I know that there's a kind of cheesy spot that I can fight this guy.
Come here. Alright, you fell for it, you freaking idiot.
Making this fight rather easy. From that little trip, we did get ourselves a legendary guillotine. Not sure if we're going to use it too much, but we'll keep it on us just in case. Day 25, we came out to visit this flame sanctum. Where are we, might you ask? Well, we returned back to Thornhold. We have leveled up since the last time we've been here, gotten better gear and more skill points. So I assume this time we should be able to complete this quest. I had no idea what I was doing in this area to be able to complete this quest, so I just tried to kill everything in sight. Then I found a little bush so I could hide in there and kind of figure out what I was doing.
Oh, what am I doing? The scavengers are taking their loot away in wagons. The circular sorbets must have been taken away in nearby encampment. Follow the road, should lead one there. Oh, not here. Oh, up there. Okay, sweet.
Yes, so apparently we had to move over to Far Song Frontier, another scavenger encampment or something. I approached this a little bit differently than I have other encampments. I wanted to try and be a little sneaky. Except that idea didn't really work out too well. We accidentally blew the place up. Even with those big ass explosions, the rest of the camp didn't notice it at all. Hashtag game logic. Hiding in this bush, I kind of didn't really know what to do. So I just went back to the old strategy and jump in and try and kill people along the way. Although hiding in these bushes is a good way to kind of scope out the enemies and try and pick them off one at a time instead of having to fight them all at once, which ultimately didn't really work for us anyway. But I had an opportunity to jump straight up here and take this guy out. And then the saw blade that we've been looking for was right here. So I picked it up and made a run for it. I kind of really didn't want to stick around. We had what we needed and we're just straight out of here. I made it far enough away so we could teleport back home. Then I immediately went over to this carpenter so we could make this new table saw.
Alright, got the table saw. What do you actually craft? Wooden planks. That's it. Bro, we went through all that trouble just so we can make wood planks?
Unsure if these wooden planks are really worth it, but hey, let's just try and make some anyway. Chuck these wood logs in there and get it to work. You know, there was one ingredient I didn't know how to make, and that was goo. But to unlock it, all I needed to do was craft up some bug dust. You're probably wondering, why the heck do I need goo? Well, it's one of the ingredients to be able to make a medium magic chest and a bunch of important recipes. We even use it to upgrade our flame altar too. But for now, obviously I use it to make this medium magic chest. We really need to start making some more space for a lot of these items that we're gathering out in the wilds. Day 26, we came back to the Mark of the Mammoth. We really have no other choice but to get this crucible. Again, like an idiot, I searched the same places that I searched last time, hoping to find something different. But then I had a light bulb moment and thought, instead of going up, let's go down.
Dude, I don't know. Oh, freaking traps.
After all, this place is a mine, so going down kind of makes sense. Then I saw this glowing item behind all of this rubble. Mined our way through this rubble, and there it was, the crucible. It was here this entire time. Now that we have this crucible, I figured it'd be a good idea for us to mine all this copper ore, because the crucible then allows us to make a smelter that can help us turn this copper ore into metal ingots. It's just this scrappy pickaxe that we're using currently. It takes way too long to be able to mine most of this. But once we got a bunch of copper ore, we teleported straight back home, built and placed our smelter, and started crafting these copper bars, which requires charcoal as well as the copper ore, and also takes quite a while to be able to make. Once the first bunch of copper bars was made, the first item that I'd craft would be a copper pickaxe. The idea behind making this copper pickaxe was so that we could go back to the copper mines and mine more copper a lot easier. Day 27, we went out to do two things. One was to explore new lands, and two, get our hands on as much copper ore as possible, whilst making the most of our brand new copper pickaxe. Yeah, mining copper was basically our goal for most of this day. I was out for a vast majority of the day, but I didn't get nearly as much copper as I thought I did. The rest of the day, we basically just spent gathering a bunch of basic materials. Then that night, I checked on my flame altar to see what we need exactly. So the next day, I finally found some amber. Well, not really. I asked some other creators around the community and they helped me out. This weird orange material? Yes, obviously it's amber. Honestly, if it wasn't for my friends in the community, I definitely wouldn't have found this. Like, it's so hidden away. I don't know how anybody found this to begin with. Also, now that we've collected some amber, we can then make some of this mage set armor. We just need some linen first. But we can't make linen without the hunter's hand spindle. And to get it, we need to come over to Westcott. Then we read this note and it now leads us to a different location to get this hunter's hand spindle. I don't really like being out and about in dangerous locations at night. I found this bed and slept in it. And so the next morning, we woke up and traveled back to the Riverwood Spire. I figured at this point, it might be a little bit easier for us to be able to glide to the location that we need to go to be able to get this hunter's hand spindle. And our waypoint led us to this spider web infested cave.
Oh no. If there's damn spider webs, the enemies in this cave are 100% gonna be spiders. Ah, there's freaking spiders. I was right. Man, if I was scared of spiders, this cave would suck. I mean, I am kind of scared of spiders, but I'm Australian, so like, I mean, not that scared of spiders.
Traveling through this cave got a little bit tricky. I couldn't figure out how to get through until I destroyed this one spider web and noticed that there was an entrance this way. Once we came out of the dark, we came into the abandoned hunter camp. This part of the cave was lit up by this luminous ore or rocks or whatever it's called. But when we see a big glowing item in the distance, we know exactly that that's what we're looking for. For some reason, once I picked it up, the spiders came out in droves.
Oh crap, they're freaking coming. Oh no, I don't want to fight all these guys. Can I kill them all? Oh, they poisoned me.
This cave also had a bunch of copper, and yeah, I'm kind of really hungry for copper right now. I swear it's like an addiction. I have to have copper. And just like that, we now have the hunter's hand spindle, which allows us to be able to craft linen. We just need some flax. Luckily, I had some stashed away in one of our magic chests. I cooked up some of the linen, and there we go. We now have some linen, which now unlocked an advanced glider that I'd really like to work towards. There was just one ingredient I needed to be able to make myself an advanced glider, and that was these shroud sacks that we can only get from these annoying flowers. I needed, I think, about 8 of them to be able to make the advanced glider, and things are going well until I got a little bit too close to this red shroud.
Oh no, what the? Ah, you piece of crap. Ah, we just lost all of the shroud spores as well.
We did eventually manage to go get our stuff back. I feel like at nighttime it's a bit easier to see this red shroud as well. Our next quest was leading us to this area, Pikes Mead's Reach, and this area will be pivotal to the rest of this video. I can't forget that I still need to collect some shroud spores as well. I mean, I really do want that advanced glider, but since we're already all the way out here, we might as well complete this quest while we're here. Pikes Mead's Reach is basically an old abandoned city, and this place is hella creepy at night, and all the enemies in here are level 15 and above, so I've got to be really cautious when fighting some of these guys. Trying to navigate around the city was quite difficult. I don't know whether it was because it was nighttime or because we're just a straight up noob, but if we could break through it, I broke through it, and if I had to jump over it, well, I'll jump over it. Although we're on a mission, we did find a shroud root. I'd planned on taking it out. Instead, I got taken out by an archer. It's okay though, because we had a respawn point pretty close by, and I was able to get back down there and fight these guys that were trying to take me out. There was actually a few different bad guys around here that came out of nowhere. I didn't even know they were here to begin with, but as long as we fought them one-on-one, we did stand a chance. It was when they came in a group we had a bit of trouble.
I didn't see that coming at all.
The sun came up on the next day, so hopefully traversing the city is a little bit easier. And we can hopefully come back here and defeat all these guys and take down the Shroud route. Again, I just try and fight these guys one-on-one. There's still a bunch of bad guys down by the Shroud route, but I just went straight Leroy Jenkins and ran straight in there and tried to just take down the route. Hopefully I can do this quick enough before they start all chasing me. And we did. We got away too. I don't know how we did this, but hey, it happened. I'll take it. With the Shroud route down, all I had to do was just look to the left a little bit and I would have discovered the Flame Sanctum and the kettle that we've been looking for this quest. We're actually quite a ways from my base. When I opened the map, I realized there was a couple big quests here. So rather than traveling all the way home only to have to return back here to complete some quests, I figured I'd just try and complete them while we're out here. Unsure what I was getting into, I ended up in the Imperial Gardens.
If I jump down here, I don't think I can get back, which usually suggests this is a boss fight arena. This ain't my first rodeo game.
And oh, was I right. As soon as I landed down here, the Fell Wisp Wyvern spawned in. Were we ready to fight this guy? No way at all, but I had to know what we were in for. This thing killed us pretty quickly too. I tried fighting this guy so many times. In the end, I just wanted to die close enough so I could get my stuff back at least, then teleport straight home. We're seriously not ready for this fight right now. You know what we are ready for though? Giving the farmer the kettle so we can make ourselves a fireplace. This is a nice and easy way for us to be able to cook meat or vegetables or, you know, a few things that you cook by the campfire, but this time you don't have to stand there and wait. In the name of getting stronger, I crafted myself up some mage gloves. Not only do they have better physical resistance and magical resistance than what I'm currently wearing, they also give a better magical damage multiplier. Oh yeah, after all that, I kind of forgot to make the advanced glider. We don't have enough shroud sacks for us to be able to make the advanced glider just yet, so back to fighting flowers it is. I don't quite remember how many we actually needed, but just like any game, as soon as you're looking for something, you can never find them. It took us ages just to find these freaking flowers. Honestly, like basically the majority of this entire day. But after a long, harrowing journey, we had gathered enough shroud sacks to be able to make the advanced glider. We just needed one linen, of course. And yeah, unluckily, we didn't have enough flax to be able to make any linen. And some that we had planted earlier are not fully grown yet. So whilst we waited, we came down to this little thing here. Collected whatever we could find in the chest and mined the salt around it. In the real early game, this is actually a really good find. You might see tutorials everywhere about this space. The following morning, we jumped straight out of bed, ran into our flax fields and picked whatever was basically ready to be picked. Quickly turned a couple pieces into some linen, then made our advanced glider. I also added another magical chest to our base. But of course, I just couldn't wait to test out our new advanced glider.
Right, there we go. Oh yeah, this is heaps better already. Oh dude, look at that. I can be in my map and not have to worry. So many things to do.
What was our plan of attack for today? Well, our goal is obviously to become stronger. So, of course, an elixir well is definitely the key. Because as we progress, we really do need to get stronger and probably smarter for obvious reasons. Like I'm telling you, I'm not very smart when it comes to these kind of games, and fog really throws me off sometimes. Oh, and if you think I'm worried about this big boss here, I'm not worried at all. He's slow and stupid. Side note, we got a really cool weapon from him though. This noble sword actually becomes really good for us. But you know what's really dangerous? Me not noticing that there's a hole here.
Oh no! No! Oh no! Oh, that was stupid.
Don't worry though, we did manage to cut down the shroud route and get those also valuable skill points. We had to dig down a little bit to get our stuff back too. That part of this part was pretty embarrassing. Back at base, I enhanced my new noble sword to solidify its place amongst our equipment. The next day, we spotted another elixir well, one that I haven't completed yet that's kind of in a lower level area. We have been fighting a lot of enemies that are a lot higher level than level 9, and you guys by now would know how clearing these elixir wells goes, so yeah, we completed it. Day 34, I came up with a rather wacky idea. I'm gonna go over to that new biome. You might be wondering, how the hell am I supposed to get up there? Especially with a deadly shroud right here and a big steep mountain blocking our way. Well, that's simple. We're gonna jump as high as we can and start mining upwards. I really don't care how long this takes. I'm mining all the way up to the top until we can get into the new biome. This literally took ages, like the longest time ever. We don't have the best pickaxe, but we did finally get up here.
Whoa, we're in! We're in! I'm assuming there's a lot of high level enemies around here though, so we've got to try and stay safe.
Whilst exploring these new lands, we picked up some new vegetation, starting with some sugarcane, then a Rui boss seedling, whatever the frick that's called, and we encountered our first enemies. They were only a level 16. I won't lie, I kind of expected a lot higher level enemies here. Overconfident, I went into an area I probably shouldn't have.
Oh dude, whoa, he's got a shield up and this other guy's got weird ass armor on. Oh, they're way tougher than I've ever experienced before. Huh. Maybe not so tough. We might actually be okay up here.
There were so many new things to discover here that I'm sure that this is the place to be. Fun fact, I only just learned at this point in the game that I can have multiple flame altars. I had no idea that this was possible until now, which yes, that means we can now teleport from one place to another, making our lives significantly easier, especially when having to come to this particular biome. The only thing is, all the shroud around this area was surrounded by deadly shroud, but I had a quest that told me that I need to go over to that big ass rock. Could I make it by gliding all the way there? Nope, we completely missed, and landed in the Deadly Shroud. I was really excited about discovering this new biome and whole new area that I wanted to just stay here and explore it. I was curious to find out what this big bone structure was. Started mining it to discover it, and yes, we had now just discovered fossilized bones, which unlocked a bunch of new exciting recipes. We're kind of at a point in this playthrough that we really need to focus on getting significantly stronger than we currently are. One way to do this is to complete some of the side quests around the map and enter random dungeons and just try and complete them, mainly in places that are roughly close to our level. A level in-game, not our brain level, because obviously that's very low. This place also had puzzles that we're familiar with. We knew how to tackle this, so it wasn't too much of a problem. My one's attack didn't have enough reach to be able to make it, so I kind of just gave up. I don't know why I just gave up, but I did. We were starting to run a little bit low on time in the shroud. Then, just as luck would have it, we found one of those time capsules that can, you know, help us stay in the shroud longer. There was just one little problem. I couldn't actually grab it.
Bro, it's not working. I can't freaking grab it. Nah.
I didn't really know what was going on at this point, so we continued on. We had over 2 minutes left in this place, so maybe we can get all the way through this place in 2 minutes. I mean, I do personally think that 2 minutes is a long time, if you get what I mean. I then had an idea on how to get this thing. If I just break it, then maybe I get it. Yes, it worked. We gained more time in this place. It started to get quite dark, and I remembered I had a wisp of light potion. We did have a little quest here. We just had to find this, the weathered stone block. Obviously, unlocking some more pieces to be able to, you know, build back at base. So that was basically our entire time down here. Now looking back at it, it was kind of a waste. But whilst we explored that dungeon, a bunch of resources crafted up back at base. And I was able to craft this adventurer chest. It gives us 120 extra health and has really good physical resistance and mediocre magical resistance. I also made myself some adventurer trousers and some adventurer boots. The trousers give me extra health and the boots give me extra health regeneration. This new gear will really help us for what's coming next. Day 31, I made myself a mage hat. It's better than what we're currently wearing, so we're gonna go with that. I'm gonna need a bunch of health potions, some bug dust so I can make some wisp of light, and some glow dust. Now you might be wondering, what are you doing? Yes, we're heading back to Pikesmead's Reach with 2 major goals on hand. We want to get some pretty cool armor that you can find here, and we want to kill the fell wisp wyvern. Firstly, we need to defeat some enemies so we can get to the armor. Finding a good vantage point and having a ranged weapon is pretty advantageous in these scenarios. Some might call this little situation a little cheesy. Well, I like my cheese. We took down this shroud route so we can get some juicy skill points, and also right behind it is a golden chest with one of the pieces of armor that we're looking for, the Guard of the North gloves. This whole set of armor is a great set for the mid game. There's more armor pieces around here to find, but for now I really need to go and fight the big bad boss. I made sure to link up with this flame because you know we're likely gonna die, then jump straight down into the boss arena.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, what do you want, big boy? I come prepared this time, son. Oh, okay. You're pretty resistant against this ice, huh? Okay, fire seems to be working well against you. Oh, okay, yep. We're dodging. You're sucking. Okay, you sus motherfucker.
This fight would really test our skills in combat. Blinking our way out of dangers, trying to avoid getting sprayed on, and using the potions at opportune times. We got the fell wisp wyvern down to half health, but then I realized my wand is about to break. So I pulled out my magic staff, but it really wasn't doing a lot of damage. I ran out of health potions and only had bandages to heal myself up. Things are getting a little dicey. I knew if I was going to win this one, I had to rely on my wand and try and weaken it as much as possible. Couple more hits and our wand broke. We're now gonna have to rely on our frozen wand, which doesn't do nearly as much damage. Even though we're a mage type, I tried my noble sword hoping that would help out too, but it got us too close and we got attacked. All I had to do was just sit here and try and attack with my frozen wand. This would have been more simple if these stupid bugs didn't get in our way. Our persistence is starting to pay off. We're pretty much out of healing items, so we have to just go for it. Just like that, we took down our next boss, the fell wisp wyvern.
Yo, we got a legendary ring. I just have to take in this moment because yes, we just slayed this beast.
We also got a key off the dead body of this boss, which we need to be able to cross into this room. Of course, full of annoying bugs that seem to be bugged out in the ground. Get it? But also, if I do know my stuff correctly, there's another piece of this armor set around here somewhere. It's just some of these places can be kind of like a maze sometimes.
Wait. Oh, I've been here before.
But we ended up finding it. The Guard of the North helmet. This thing's kind of creepy, but its stats are really cool to have. Extra time in the shroud? Yeah, I'll take that.
Dude, we're swapping out a wizard hat for a wannabe Lord of the Rings bad guy helmet.
Even with our fancy new gear, we can all make mistakes. Yeah. I forgot about my stamina bar. There's another piece of this set that I knew that was pretty close by. It was just kind of guarded by some pretty scary green glowing skeletons. And the green glowing ones are always the toughest. That's why if I could cheese kill them in any kind of way, I just did. I mean, these guys are just too tough. I knew that they would one-shot me or two-shot me or at least three-shot me. I thought I was all in the clear until I turned around.
Oh, crap. This guy gave me a fright. All right, you died. Oh, don't hit me. Okay, that hurt. Yeah, take that, buddy. Oh, maybe this new armor's pretty good. He didn't hurt as bad as I thought he would.
But the next piece of this armor we found in this little kind of hidden spot below one of the houses in this area. In this crypt or chest or I don't know, what do you call it, coffin? The guard of the north chest plate. After all that fun in Pikes Mead's Reach, we ended up heading on home. We're obviously missing a few pieces of this armor, but these 3 pieces were the only pieces that I actually knew where they were. Also, I could now upgrade to a medium backpack. As we progress in this game, inventory space is going to become more and more important. With the boss head, we now have the last ingredient to be able to upgrade our flame. We also upgraded the altar as well, so we could have more build space. Not that we ever really use it. Oh, and I reset all my skill points because it was by now in this playthrough that I really understood how these skill points work. Before this, I was just throwing them wherever I felt worked. Focusing a lot on the wizard pathway and getting more intelligent points so we can obviously do more magic damage. And I also wanted the double jump skill as well as updraft, as these will help us traverse through this map. I also decided to take this scuffed roof down. We now have some better building pieces and a lot of resources that we can fix this for sure. Do you guys remember that quest that led us to the scavenger camp that we had to get the saw blade for? Well, we had to return here for another quest. I wasn't trying to be sneaky this time. We are way stronger this time, so yeah, we just destroyed everyone really quickly too. What I need to do this time is cross this bridge and fight green dudes. Yes, remember, green dudes are tough. But one thing I didn't actually know, there was a scavenger boss here as well. And this guy blows his horn and summons in some big ass wolves who didn't really have much chance against us. I mean, we killed them pretty quickly. Then it was just left with us and your mama. I mean, the boss. All that time in Pikes Mead's Reach let us learn a good cheese tactic, making killing this boss rather quick and easy and simple. There was a tower behind where the boss spawns, and we had to climb up it to get what we needed. The city wall block. I wanted the city wall block so I could work on my base with a new different type of building piece. But did we head on home? No, we didn't. There were things that were just super interesting nearby, and I had new armor that made me feel pretty invincible, so my overconfidence got ahead of me, and yeah, I just tried to continue on. But this did lead us to the Pillars of Creation. I'm pretty sure this is the way you're supposed to go to be able to get to that yellow grass biome. But we've actually come here because there's a craftsman's item that we need to get that's here. And whilst we were making our way through this area, we found a mystic chest that gives us 4% more wand damage. Now, is it significantly better than what we're currently wearing? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. Does it look better? Hell yes, it does. So we're sticking with that. Now to maneuver around some of these traps. Once we made it through a few puzzles and made our way up, we found exactly what we're looking for in this research camp. The masonry tools, which would have been good if we actually cleared some of our inventory. But we have secured the masonry tools for our blacksmith. I made our way out of this cave and confirmed that yes, this is the new biome that I was talking about. Then I finally teleported all the way home so I could unload my full sack. The following morning, I made myself a rake. Then I went and flattened out a bunch of ground because that's exactly what the rake does. This wasn't very practical. I don't really use this for any purpose, but I was just testing it out, and I'm not very good at this at all. But then I went over to this little hill here just outside of our base border so I could mine up some dirt and stone. The reason why I did it outside our border is so that when we restart the game, this whole thing respawns in. If you do it inside the border, it doesn't come back. I know we took down the roof earlier, but I'm taking down the whole roof now. I really want to upgrade our base completely. We got this half-timbered block while we were out exploring and doing quests, and personally I think this looks like a pretty decent floor compared to this stone rubble that we had. Problem is, it's pretty damn expensive to make with the amount of clay and wood that we need. The good thing is there's a massive pile of clay close to one of the ancient spires. I gathered so much clay this time that we almost broke our pickaxe, but we were also able to make a ton of these half-timbered blocks and continued renovating this base. I then decided to change the outside walls to the city wall blocks. Again, they look a little bit cleaner than the other blocks that we've been using. I did extend my base a little bit too, so we could have a little bit more room to move around and add more pieces and stuff. It wasn't until the next morning that we finally finished this entire base build. Well, somewhat finished. There's a few final touches and details that we need to complete, but I think it looks pretty damn good. I'm unsure how this all happened, but I spoke to the farmer and learned flatbread at an oven, which also means I learned the oven recipe as well. I just need to whip up a few of these things so I can make the oven, but I also need the almanac of the plants and seedlings. I jumped on top of our base and thought this might be a good place for us to be able to build upwards, but we're not quite ready for that just yet. I also decided to move my bed around. I wanted to fix that floor up.
We'll place it over here for now and take a little bit of a nap for the night.
Do you guys remember that area that was all Deadly Shroud? In this biome near that rock that we tried to, get over to? Well, it's no longer Deadly Shroud anymore, and we're going to be able to make it over to this rock, especially with our new updraft ability.
Ugh. I should have got updraft ages ago. That was so much easier.
We made it up on top of this rock so we could complete this quest out here, but the quest is actually below us. Yeah, so we couldn't have even done it earlier, even if we wanted to. Welcome to Umber's Hollow. Now, I kind of remember this because we do visit this place quite a lot later on. We're here on a mission from the blacksmith to get this kind of tool for him. I don't even know what it is, but this man is sending us on a wild goose chase. We read a note and basically we have to go somewhere else. Also, there's these green mushrooms that are found only in this kind of shroud area. Once we pick them up, we unlocked a bunch of new recipes. I climbed back up on this big rock here so I could get a better advantage point so I could fly back down to where we need to be. I believe we just need to come down to here. Jasper Isles? And as an added bonus of this place, there was a shroud route with literally no one around defending it, which means some easy skill points. And strangely enough, this whole place was completely empty, and we were able to claim these smithing tools without any problems. Day 42, we headed on out to a random farm. This might seem like a little bit of a random adventure, but no, it's not. I need to collect this dirt. It's not normal dirt. This is called farm soil. Now, yes, I could make this with my farmer back at base, but why would I if I could just come here and take all of it for free? I got what I needed, so I was quickly out of here. I then built some stairs in my base, then blew up my roof. Not really, I just obviously need to make a way up. I decided to make this entire level out of the half-timbered blocks. Although pretty expensive, the materials are pretty easy to get. It just requires a lot of farming, especially of clay. It is a lot nicer farming this clay with this copper pickaxe now though. I just kept farming until just about our pickaxe would break. But that just means we need to go out and collect a bunch of wood too. All of this so we can build a second level on our base that we probably don't really need. I mean, this does look kind of cool to me. And I suppose looking cool is important, right? No, the answer is no. No, looking cool doesn't matter. Being happy matters. That's all that matters. I put a few of these fire cauldrons outside just so I could see what I was doing. Right now, I'm placing down some of that farm soil that we gathered earlier today. Because yes, I'm making myself a proper farm now, and there's a little bit of a cheesy method that we can use to make more farm soil without actually having to spend any resources. As you can see, we just used the rake to spread it all around as far as we needed to go. Now if you're wondering, the reason why we're using farm soil, it actually speeds up the process of growing whatever thing that you're growing in this soil. Like earlier when we just grew it in the normal ground, it took quite a while, but with this farm soil it'll be significantly quicker. So not only did we steal the farm soil from a farm, but we used the rake method to be able to spread it all around. We got all this farm soil without actually spending a single bit of resource. And to make our farm look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, I placed down these little foundations to kind of, block it in a little bit. Then we began the painstaking task of planting all of this flax. Out of all the boring tasks in this game, this really takes the cake. I also placed a few of these polished scrap braziers, as they're called, upstairs to kind of lighten this place up and kind of hope that it would create some heat too. I'm definitely gonna have to start thinking about creating a roof on this place, but that can wait for another day because obviously we were out of resources. We need to go out and gather some more. Now usually in other games I would increase harvesting rates to make sure I don't have to do this so much, but as far as I know that's impossible in this game. So yeah, we do a lot of harvesting and a lot of grinding, but I think it might be worth it. Kinda, maybe, I don't know. Look, all we're trying to do is just put a flat roof on this place. Nothing too special. Oh, and while we did all that, yes, look, our flax has grown. It really hadn't taken that long for this to fully grow. Unlike last time, it took a couple in-game days. This was basically half a day. Oh yeah, I only kind of just realized now that I can craft my own water well. Now we have access to our own water. Now I know how all those kids felt when Mr. Beast gave them their own water wells. Wakanda forever or something like that. Before this day ended, I placed some doors on our base. I don't really know why. It doesn't really matter, but I think it kind of looks aesthetically pleasing, I guess. Day 44, I had a little break from working on my base to go out on a little adventure. We're on another mission for one of our crafting station guys again, which eventually leads us to this cave full of the VUCA. Our waypoint suggests that the location that we need to be is below. Obviously, I try and cheese it a little bit by mining down, but that just seemed to take too long. Instead, I look around and notice that there's kind of a cage that leads into a new area. And we go from a cave to like inside a house, only to be met by a different type of enemy, the green scavenger guys. I searched around this place for a while and noticed I need to get through this door somehow, but I couldn't figure it out. So I left this area and tried a different way. There was a different entrance to be able to get in. I kind of think that the place we went in earlier is actually the exit. So we head on in and fight a lot of these scavenger guys. And that glowing thing that we saw earlier through the cage was just this book. Turns out we're getting sent on another wild goose chase, and now we need to go to a place called Lupa's Lair, where we're hoping to get this tanning station. Checking the map, it seems like Lupa's Lair is quite a ways away and in a whole ass area that we've never discovered. But exciting though, we get to find new lands and see if we can discover anything new. But that's when we discovered a whole new biome. This is the desert biome, where we discover some new interesting enemies like these scorpions that we harvest chitin from, and of course gain some new recipes. I then discovered a new substance in the ground, tried to mine it, and discovered that it was called lapis lazuli. Like we're in Minecraft all over again. Gathering around it, we also gathered some sand too. I didn't know that that was a thing, but now we do. I saw this weird looking creature creature just chilling out there. If it's got a yellow health bar like that, I think that means it's kind of passive, but you know, it was pretty easy to kill, so we did. Then it dropped the raw sand digger meat, and this meat becomes pretty crucial to our survival in this 100 days later on. Straight after that, we picked up some saffron as well. This whole desert is full of new and exciting recipes and resources. And then we came across this sulfur. I feel like we've been extremely spoiled with resources and recipes in the last couple minutes. Then we came across level 20 enemies. Lucky they were just VUCA and they're kind of weak against fire, so we smoked them pretty easily. We then leveled up to level 17. As the sun comes up on day 45, we find ourselves in the bounty barn. Not much is happening here, but we got pretty lucky by finding this chest that has a legendary shield inside. Not that we really use shields, it's still pretty good. Of course, I still equipped it though. We then pretty much make it to our destination, and we have finally made it to Lupa's lair. I'm just playing this out a little bit cautiously. We're quite a ways away from base, so I don't really want to die and try and make our way all the way back here. But of course, the thing that we're looking for is right behind that boss. I start by fighting this scavenger, then I try and get away and then run into another scavenger. Once I took this punk out, it was then time for us to take on this big mamma jamma boss guy. It summoned in some of these wolfies, which are kind of a pain in the butt really, especially because they take more damage to fire, where this big boss takes more damage to frost. We were chipping away at this boss's health, but I wasn't really paying attention to my own health. We respawned at this flame altar thing in the wilds, but it was quite a ways away from Lupa's lair. It's okay, because I can edit all that crap out and just magically appear here. Go ahead and get my stuff and go and fight this big mamma jamma again. Psych, I don't fight him. I just pick up the tanning station and run away. Yeah, I'm a coward like that sometimes. I finally returned back to base after a couple days out exploring. I wanted to see all these new things that we had gotten from picking up different resources. We had unlocked a warlock set that looks, you know, pretty average, but I suppose the stats are decent. An archmage set that actually looks pretty damn cool, especially that chest piece, and a bunch of other armors that the hunter could make. I then went ahead and placed in our brand new tanning station right next to the stairs. It seems like a good, nice, cozy place for it. This is where we can craft leather. We just need ammonia glands, and I'm not too sure at this point what they are or how to get them. I figured maybe now it's time that we put a roof on the second level of our base here. Might be a good idea. Problem I kept running into is I kept running out of freaking materials, and these refined wood block ceiling things, they require wood planks that you need to make with the lumber mill thing. Now sure, I could wait for more planks to be made up, but I couldn't be bothered waiting. I just found what other resources I had lying around the base and used that just so I could close this roof in. Just like that, we have a full roof on this base. Next, I placed some of these braziers in this level so we could lighten the place up during the night, and placed a couple of these guardrails up here because sometimes they get a little bit clumsy and fall down. One of the things in this point of the game that takes up most of our daily time is farming. Now, a lot of these resources are actually quite valuable, especially here in the late game, but it is quite time consuming picking them and then replanting them. I then decided that today was the day that I was just going to try and complete a few side missions, like cutting down some shroud roots in random areas that we haven't completed yet, and going to fight the big ass Bigfoot beast. Ouch, that actually really freaking hurt. Oh, did I bring enough food? I don't know if I did. Killing this big beast ended up being quite worth it. We got to loot him for a pretty decent ring. The ring of health that gave us, well, obviously more health. Now this mountain here that's called the Pillars of Creation is actually the tallest mountain in the entire game, and I want to climb it. I must get to the top of this and set up a little bit of a base, or like somewhere I can respawn at. Now making it up to the top of this mountain, I tried to do a little bit of a creative method. Mining was just taking way too long to climb this thing. I just needed to come back to base quickly to come and get this rough stone blocks and make more, because you don't know how much you really need. Now, basically what I do is I place down a flame altar and build some stairs upwards. Now, you can only build if there's a flame altar nearby and within the radius of the flame altar. This part here, we just had to mine a little bit so we could get to that ledge just over to the right there. Then repeat the same process. Place down the flame altar, build some stairs as far as the way up as we can go, place another flame altar down so we can extend that build radius. Now, after building a bunch of the way up, we know we had made it to the top when we find this building here. Damn, this view is freaking spectacular. Oh, there's a snow biome.
Ooh, I know that's not unlocked yet though. That'll be in later content.
I then placed down one of our very few remaining flame altars to mark this spot so we can always come back to here. I wanted to build up here so that we had a way to be able to glide to most locations on this map. Now, I can only have 8 flame altars out on this map at a time. So to make sure I could build other flame altars in the future, I came back down to extinguish most of these flames so we could obviously build more. I then came back down to the desert because this place is just damn exciting and I wanted to see it in the daytime.
What the crap is that? Is it coming my way? Oh no, it's fighting something else. Right, I just got smoked. I'm going in for the kill. I'm going in for the kill. Come back here, you freaking flappy bird. Yeah. Oh wait, we aiming at those. No. Wait, what's happening? Stupid scorpions. Oh, it's coming. Yeah, you want some of this? We have a fried chicken tonight, bitches.
I chopped down one of these desert trees to try and discover if it was something new or if it was just normal wood. Apparently, this stuff is called palm wood. Now, I never thought I would say palm and wood in the same sentence and it not be kind of sus. So this whole upstairs area we turned into a kind of bedroom and placed in enough things so we could get a decent rested buff. I think 34 minutes is actually pretty decent. Day 48, we ventured down to a place called Surat's Rest. There's another little side quest down here that we have to complete. Plus, we were starting to run a little low on metal scraps, and I knew that there was a bunch of scavengers down here that we could loot for more metal scraps.
Holy. I could do 1-on-1, but I can't do freaking 2 or 3-on-1, especially with these green guys. Oh, yeah, bro, my blinking and my dodging is too good right now.
We took our time making our way through this little city of scavengers.
In a city like this, if you go the wrong way, you can kite out way too many enemies. Kind of like I have now. Oh, yep. 1 down. Come on, buddy. Let's go. The wolves aren't too bad, but yeah, if I come down here, I can maybe just only kite 1 out of the way. Oh, crap. All right, we're just gonna have to fight the old-fashioned way. Oh, you're down. Oh, done. Whew. Thank you, Jeebus.
And towards the very back of this city was a place called the Scavenger Arena. I thought there was going to be a big boss here, but instead there was just a bunch of scavengers. Psych, there was a big boss there. He just didn't spawn in yet. I had to try and pick off his little pain in the butt minions and then fight him 1-on-1. Tried using my staff because I had a fireball attack that was kind of fun to use, but I don't have a lot of mana right now, and I haven't really been focusing on the whole mana thing since I've been using wand so much. Big bastard summons in his little pet puppies, but I take them out because my fire is dangerous. I head on in to get a better vantage point at him, start taking them out, and then he vomits on me, which is hella gross, but yeah, obviously I die. I return back to the scavenger arena to get my stuff back, and the big boss is gone. Psych, he just didn't spawn in again. I think it's kind of bugged. I don't know. Maybe he's supposed to spawn in when I'm there, or maybe it takes time. I don't really know how it works. I tried fighting him from above, but I accidentally fell down. Then I tried fighting him in the street. Almost killed him, and he vomited on me again. This guy's freaking disgusting. I really liked the roof strategy that we were working on, and I had a bunch of grenades that I wanted to try out. So I threw them down on him, which kind of buried him into a little bit of a hole. And yes, I did just throw a grenade at my own feet. Idiot. I had a couple mana potions on me, so I just started chipping away at his health with my staff. And since he was stuck in the hole that I created with my grenades, he was pretty easy to take out. And upon his dead body, we got the Almanac of the Plants and Seedlings for our farmer. And not too far away was another mini quest that we could complete. It was just another building piece, the limestone blocks. Now that we had an almanac for the seeds and stuff, I don't even know what an almanac is, I could make an oven for us. It only makes flatbread, which is kind of random how much work it takes to be able to make an oven just to make flatbread. Day 49, up upon our little pillars of creation base here, I took flight so we could head on over to that spire in the distance there. This is going to be quite the trip. I'd like to welcome you to the Ancient Spire Nomad Highlands. Now, I think by now in this video, you know how these ancient spires work. We go in, avoid some traps, and solve some puzzles to be able to get through it, and finally go up these fancy magical elevators and unlock the spire as a fast travel point. This was a great location because right down there was some fossilized bones that we could always have available, and just down here was another interesting resource too. Now, you're probably wondering, how did you know how to get to these places, and how did you know how to find some of these hidden resources? Well, I'm not the only person that got early access to this game. There was a bunch of other creator friends that I speak to regularly that also played this game that kind of worked things out and told me. But just so you guys know, in this little area here, yes, there's a shroud root that we can easily cut down and get some valuable skill points, but right behind it here is a tin ore mine that we gathered to get some tin ore, but also unlock a bunch of other recipes that are actually really handy for this point of the game. And as you saw, this place is so close to the ancient spire that we can just fast travel here and get as much tin that we need as many times as we need. Day 50 and we're back out in the desert once again. We're basically just out here today exploring. We discovered a little town here called Brittle Bush. Now remember this place because we do visit this place quite often. There is a lot going on here, even though we see tumbleweed just rolling around everywhere, but it's also surrounded by deadly shroud, which usually is a sign that we're not really ready to be here. So we kick on with our explorations and having to fight some of these big scary flappy birds. We're currently making our way out to this area on the map, just following the waypoints. I'm really trying to get over to this ancient spire in the back there. I figured unlocking another fast travel point around this map would be pretty advantageous for us, but unfortunately it seems to be blocked by this deadly shroud, and I don't really know how to get around and over there. So I decided to leave this for now. We'll figure something out a little bit later. After a quick visit back home, we returned back to this new ancient spire that we had unlocked because it was close to a location that we needed to get to for another quest that we needed to complete here in Rattlebleak. Whoever's coming up with some of these names for these places are crazy.
Whoa, this place is rather creepy. All these people have been turned into stone or something? Oh, I didn't mean to break you. Sorry. Oh, I just broke you. I guess you guys don't really need all these veggies then.
The waypoint for this quest led us downstairs to read this note. Did I read it? No. I don't really have to because once we touch it, it leads us to another place anyway. And we arrive at that place the next morning. This place is called the Cradle of Dusk. But when I get down there, I do see this grotesque looking creature.
Whoa, bro, this guy is ugly. ugly. Kind of looks like a, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. A female body part.
I actually didn't expect to fight a boss right now, but it seems like I have to kill this guy to complete this quest.
Come here, buddy. Oh, you're the guy that keeps freezing all the bodies and turning them into whatever the gross stuff around. You're like a Medusa.
Surprisingly, defeating this guy was quite easy. Considering it was a boss, I thought it would have been a little bit more difficult. But since defeating it, we got its head as a trophy, and we got the black cauldron that we can use to craft the alchemy station at the alchemist. Of course, I had to race on home so I could make this new alchemy station.
Bro, this thing's low-key expensive to make. Better be worth it.
This chunky little crafting station was placed into our base. Then I had to check to see what it made.
Antiseptic and alchemical base.
Next up, I went and checked the flame altar to see what we needed to be able to upgrade it. And all of these resources are super accessible to us right now. I mean, we've already got the fell monstrosity head. The rest should be pretty easy to get. So I went straight out to start chopping down some of these mint mushrooms. Then we went down to Umber Hollows to go and find these glowing red mushrooms. You see, I need to kill a bunch of these to get a certain resource from them. Thing is, once you kill them, you've got to avoid them because they kind of have like an explosive radius and that's poisonous. We wait for this to clear and then we can go in and collect the ammonia glands. And as far as I know, these guys only kind of spawn around the Umber Hollows area and they can be kind of hard to find sometimes. I'm just grateful that they drop multiple glands at a time. I also needed to travel to some flame sanctums so I could collect some flame sparks. We also needed some of these Rui bosses to upgrade the flame sanctum. Even after planting them, we're probably gonna have to wait a little while till they grow. But while we waited for them to grow, we went back down to Umber Hollow. I wanted to do some exploring, see if I could find some of those red mushroom guys again, and come and check out Mayfair Lock, where they had two of these aimbot skinny ladies. I forget what I call them. What do I call them again? I don't know, but we leveled up to level 20 and got a nice Steam achievement with it too. No red mushrooms, but we did find a tin ore deposit. I mean, there's heaps down here, so I kind of just stuck around, you know, mining this. We eventually found a red mushroom hiding behind a green mushroom.
You thought you were sneaky, huh, Mr. Red Mushroom Duty? Yeah. Sacrifice was well worth it, Mr. Mushroom Guy. Thank you for your ammonia glands and your sack.
With a successful grind out in the wilds, we teleported on home. Checked our flame altar, and we only need the rubios now to be able to upgrade it. Harvested the small amount that we planted earlier, replanted some more, because you never know, we might need some more. Then we strengthened our flame to level 5. With all the copper and tin that I had crafted up earlier, I then turned that into bronze. Now that I had some bronze bars, I could now make some bronze equipment, like this bronze pickaxe and bronze felling axe. After speaking to the hunter, I realized that I had a bunch of these fell thunderbrute trophies. Once I crafted one, I didn't realize until now you can make a bronze version. Then once you make a bronze version, you can then make an iron version. I just don't have any iron right now. Same goes with the scavenger matron trophies as well. And of course, I had to decorate my base with these guys. I mean, who doesn't like having creepy heads on your wall? The next morning, I went to check on the flame to see what we needed to strengthen it once again. And yes, it's quite a few resources. Today's little plan of attack is basically just a resource farm day. I really wanted to put my new bronze pickaxe and axe to work, gathering clay, copper, chopping down trees, gathering a crazy amount of tin, and even mycelium. I mean, like, you never know if you're gonna need some more mycelium. We spent this entire day farming. That's really all we did. We're trying to just get as many materials together as we can so we can really get through this end game. But also, we've been successfully farming for so long and gathering resources out in the wilds that we can start making the really good foods for our adventures. Like, these meat wraps give us +5 to our constitution and +1 to intelligence, meaning we have extra health and extra damage since we're using magic. Sugar gives us 20+ stamina recharge and is actually quite cheap. And if I have some eggs, these mushroom omelets with +4 intelligence are OP. Day 54, I checked my journal and then checked the map to go and find a mine, which seems pretty close to one of the flame altars that I had set up. Now, this little quest should reward us with some iron. And since we upgraded our flame altar, we can now head on into the shroud. We couldn't previously come here earlier.
Oh, there's a shroud route here as well? Oh, another floating crazy lady. Wait, you're different. What are you? You're strong too. Bro, you threw a freaking skull at me? Oh my god. Oh my lord. Oh my lord, I'm about to die. Oh, I died. Crap.
After that death, we scooted on back home quickly. We had made some leather. Once I got it, we unlocked the extraordinary glider.
I think I want me one of them. Oh, a large backpack as well. How expensive shroud root and alchemical base. We can make you. Oh, large magic chest too. I didn't even notice we had that.
I had most of the ingredients to make the extraordinary glider. The only thing that was missing was 1 shroud wood. And since I'm down here, I might as well stock up on some resources while I'm here anyway. But just like that, we have now upgraded to the extraordinary glider. I made a large magic chest while I was here as well. We had the resources, so why not? Then we headed on back out to the iron mine area.
Dude, this glider is so much better already. Holy, what a difference.
I placed down a flame altar so it could teleport back and forth to here and just gather iron whenever we needed it. And with our brand new glider, we were able to glide straight on into the mine. We found a chest here too, and it gave us a pretty decent staff.
Oh, these guys are dead already? Lucky us. Oh, look at all that juicy iron. Ah, yes, we now have iron.
Iron on hand, we've now unlocked a bunch of new recipes. Stuff that's going to make a huge difference in our progression. I was here for what felt like a long time. But when I checked my inventory, we only had 25 pieces of iron. Day 55, we cooked up a bunch of iron bars. This is going to take quite a while to cook up. So while we waited, I looked around my map to see if there was any interesting objectives and found an elixir well that looked interesting and went on out to attempt to complete it. Turned out to be a pretty nice little find as well. Had some tin ore down here. We were met by one of those big boy bosses again, but he's not a very high level compared to us, so defeating him was relatively easy. Took down yet another shroud root, meaning we get some really valuable skill points. And of course, I mined a bunch of this tin ore while I was here. Next up, we find ourselves in Brittle Bush. And on top of one of the roofs was a golden chest with a sun axe inside. Now, I probably won't ever really use it, but it's always good to have a melee weapon on hand, just in case. I learned that we can make an improved well as well. It's a little bit better than the current well that we have, so I made it. Day 56, I realized something. Now that we have a significantly decent glider and have increased our flame altar level, we might be able to make it over to the last ancient spire. Just in case we die in the shroud or we can't really make it over, I placed down this flame altar so we could spawn back here if we need to. I ate some food, took a mighty leap in the air, and started gliding over to the base of the ancient spire. I didn't even need to worry about the deadly shroud. We just needed that better glider and we made it over here quite easily. Now again, I don't want to bore you with how these ancient spires work. You guys know. If you want to experience this firsthand, go ahead and download the game. I really do suggest it. It's a lot of fun. I will say though, we did unlock some really cool recipes from breaking some of these vases and stuff. We picked up some paper, which gave us some bookshelves and some other stuff. We picked up some fabric that gave us a wall banner and a bunch of other colored fabrics. And then we found some of those fabrics just out and about. We managed to unlock the ancient spire Kindle Waste fast travel. Unlocking this really signals that you're in the end game of Enshrouded, and also probably means we're going to need to get ourselves some much better gear. See, if we fly down to this sun temple, this particular one here, we should be able to get some pretty decent gear from here. We just need to travel down these stairs, through this door, to the left, and then through this door again. Then just to the left of here, there should be this chest that will always give you a legendary or a purple item. Sometimes you just got to watch out for some of the bad guys, but you can outrun most of them. Now, here's where things kind of turn a little bit into a gray area. You see, you can place down a flame altar pretty close to where that chest is, and if you exit out of the game and come straight back in, the golden chest loot would have respawned, and you can do this as many times as you need. I'll admit, I got a little bit carried away with this. It was just too much juicy loot, and if we really wanted to progress in this game, we needed to get some better armor. I mean, we've been rocking some of this armor since day 20. This chest piece looks kind of ugly compared to our mystic chest piece, but stats wise it is significantly better. And anything that we didn't want, I could salvage and get some of these runes so we could upgrade the rest of the items that we do want. I could spend hours and hours just doing that over and over again until I get the best possible loot in the game, but I won't lie, that gets kind of boring and feels a little bit too cheesy, even though it already is cheesy. Anyway, I digress. Because for now, we're heading on over to complete a quest in East Lapis. In one of these buildings, I should be able to get a crafting piece for one of my NPCs back at base. Just need to come into Weaver's cottage.
Oh, it's really dark. It's hard to see. My wand isn't giving me much light. Ah, there we go. Yes, there we go. We got the loom, baby.
As soon as we got that loom, we found a nice safe spot and teleported straight out of here. Placed this loom in our base, and now we can turn linen into fabric, which also means we're going to need a crap ton of flax. It's now day 57, and if you haven't kind of worked it out now, we're just trying to get through a lot of these journal quests. Now, this next quest sends us on quite the adventure. I even came up here thinking this was a bridge, but once I got here, I realized it wasn't. We did still manage to cross this, although it was a little bit weird. I thought I made it to the location, but then I had to just go down, which we could have done much easier. But in the long run, if you do go up high, it's easier to go down than it is to go from the down upwards. I do really appreciate the gliding stuff in this game. It makes viewing some of this world pretty damn cool. We did manage to find what we were looking for. It was just protected by one of these crazy birds. We killed them, collected their fried chicken, and then went and picked up the scientific instrument for our alchemist. I of course searched these nests to try and find some more eggs, you know, so we can make those mushroom omelets and that are really good for us. We didn't find some at the excavation camp, but we did find a bunch at this other nest alongside some of these raw sand sand digger thingies. We went out and got those scientific instruments, but they're only one piece of the ingredients to be able to make this laboratory. I also need to make this ethanol thing, which requires a bunch of bronze bars, which takes quite a bit of time to cook up. Luckily for us, there's a bunch of things we can do while we wait. Planting plants in our garden, and might as well collect some salt. After a hot minute or two, we had all the right ingredients to make our laboratory. This is where we craft up a bunch of stuff that I'm not too sure what half of this stuff does. I kind of assume that there are more ingredients for other recipes. We've been cooking up so much metal that we keep running out of charcoal. So I just made another charcoal kiln. Because we're smelting so much metal right now, bronze, tin, copper, iron, we really need to cook up as much charcoal as possible to make it all work.
Holy, 35 minutes until it's all cooked.
I went back to the iron mine, hoping to score myself another decent weapon, but I had to fight these guys, who seem to be quite dangerous. But that's when I ran into another problem. When I fought them, the big bad boss here came and tried to fight me too. I quickly yoinked myself a weapon out of that legendary box and ran away. There was no way I wanted to fight that guy right now. Psych, we came back to the shroud route because I wanted to try and knock it down.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, don't get hit. Oh, we did it, we did it. I got hit, okay, let's get out of here. We did it though. I got the skill points, that's all that matters. Oh, yoink that.
Also, I forgot to mention, we had now crafted ourselves an iron pickaxe. Once I de-aggroed everything, I came back to come collect some iron for ourselves. Our iron pickaxe just does this so much easier and better. In a space of 2 to 5 minutes, we had collected a crazy amount of iron ore. I also gathered a bunch of this charcoal to place in our grinder so we can make coal powder. What is coal powder used for? I don't know, I just wanted to make it. Probably explosives or something. I then made some fertilized farm soil now that we have access to nitrate. Then I made a second farm plot. Obviously, the same way that we made the last one, using the rake and spreading it all out. I waste resources when we don't have to. I can't lie, I didn't actually know that I was using a different walkway for this material here. I just kind of placed down whatever I had spare laying around in one of the chests. Once we squared it all off, I then used the rake to be able to fill it all in. I also have these sandstone braziers now, and these are a great light source. Now to test out to see if this fertilized soil is much better or not. I also made sure to plant some chamomile as well, as we use chamomile to craft some potions. I need a bunch of alchemical base. It doesn't really require ingredients that are too hard to get either. We just need to go down to the shroud to collect a bunch of it. You guys might have already noticed, but some of these mushrooms are kind of sus looking.
Dude, this mushroom is sus. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Day 59, I made and placed a spinning wheel in our base. With this, we could passively craft linen and string just by putting the right resources in the spinning wheel. Next, I made some fancy stone blocks. I wanted to make like a porch kind of thing at the back of our base here, but I kind of wasn't really feeling this block. It didn't look nice to me. Next, I placed down some limestone blocks to see how that would look.
Hey, that doesn't look too bad. It kind of blends in with the city wall. I like it.
So I filled this out 2 blocks out. Placed some pillars out here with the expectation of placing a roof out here. I didn't do that. I got distracted and ended up going back to the Kindle wastes. But for really good reason. There's a certain temple that we need to reach to get something pretty damn special. We just gotta hope and pray we make it over this deadly shroud, which we did with ease. But basically, we want to skip this entire town and then go straight to the back, which we do by just running around it. There's an entranceway just to the right here. We can double jump our way in and we're in. We then just have to press a couple buttons, but we have to find them first. Some are hidden behind here. Once we get through them all, this door should open and then we can go up this tower. There's some scary bird creatures around and I kind of don't want to fight them. So I'm going to try and get up this tower, hopefully without encountering any of them. We Spider-Man our way up, open this chest, and get exactly what we're looking for, the Ghost Glider. This is the best glider in the entire game. I immediately equip it and it's pretty cool. The game gives you a place to test it out straight away.
Whoa, you can already tell this is so much better. Oh, ouch. That was dumb.
Since a little bit of time had passed, I teleported back to this other sun temple with the legendary chest, and I'm really glad I did. We got a legendary blackened staff. Finally, something that's super useful for us. Something that I haven't done for a minute is enhance a bunch of our weapons that we've been collecting. We had so many runes that I didn't have to worry about being able to fully enhance all of them. Day 60, I realized we're going to need a bunch of different types of seeds. So it might be better if we craft a couple more seed beds to kind of speed this process along. Farming is kind of annoying and boring, but it is very important for this game, especially in the end game. We had to head over to Brittle Bush, and thanks to this Ghost Glider, look how far we get to travel without having to worry. We're here trying to find this beehive smoker. Now, it should be located just below us. Problem is, there's also a bunch of enemies just below us as well. They're a little hard to see until I hit them. I just needed to get straight down there and collect it. I had a pretty sweet vantage spot to be able to finish this last enemy off though. Jumped straight down and noticed it was just a note, which usually means we have to go to a different location to get this beehive smoker. We were then led to what seemed like the middle of nowhere and found a dead Bigfoot who had some honey on him. There were a couple scavengers and a scorpion that were just trying to ruin my fun, but I was able to deal with them quite simply. All these dead Vuka were just holding on to some honey. We then checked our map and realized we had to travel just a little bit further to get our beehive smoker. Side note, we got to level up to level 23 by mining this copper. Whilst I was out exploring, I picked up a pretty interesting spell. It's called the Shroud Meteor. This is what it does.
Oh, okay, that wasn't a lot of damage, but it was still pretty cool.
You gotta always remember to kill this guy first because he just heals everybody and makes this whole fighting situation so much harder. But I'd like to welcome you to Vuka Sacrifice Hill.
Bro, Sacrifice Hill. Why the hell are we in Sacrifice Hill?
Where these guys plan to sacrifice me, but really, I want to sacrifice them. I thought this wannabe King Kong was going to be a lot tougher than it was. But honestly, my blink abilities are just too fast.
What you got, boy? See ya! You can't get me, son. Oh, you missed. Oh, call me the Flash, motherfucker. Oh. And dead. You're dead. Thank you for your sacrifice on your own Sacrifice Hill. There we go. We got the beehive smoker. Mission complete.
Arriving back at base, I went and spoke to the farmer to see what this beehive smoker does. Turns out, I just had to place this beehive smoker next to the farmer, and now I can make a honey beehive. I made 2 because they're cheap and why not? I didn't realize they require water and sugar to create the honey. I mean, I have the ingredients, but I don't know if I need the honey that bad right now. Day 61, I freed up some space from this little corner over here. Since we could now make huge chests, I wanted to try and just use these from now on. I just had to replace the space for my workbench first because the OCD in me needs to make sure that these foundations match up correctly.
Oh, that's much better. It looks clean, right? And over here as well. Yeah, there we go. Much better.
I love how these huge chests can just link up next to each other and can be flush and look kind of neat and tidy. And the fact that they have heaps of space in them makes this so much better. Obviously, I want to try and use some magic huge chests as well. They're just kind of expensive to make. But there was enough space made to be able to delete some of the other magic chests and we'll work towards it eventually. I then wanted to unlock some of the map around this spire of ours. Since we had the ghost glider, getting around was so much easier and a lot better and fun. This was our first encounter with a creepy blue shroud version of those flying creatures, and we found a random mine. Of course I went in it. We just found a pillar or the whole place full of this luminescence rock. There was a little bit of a glitch happening at this point, so we couldn't tell if we had actually mined anything. The pop-up wasn't coming up for us to the side at all, but if we checked our inventory, we could see that it was there. While unlocking most of this new area, we found that there was an elixir well nearby, and the enemies down here definitely showed themselves to be a little bit tougher than we used to, but ultimately we could destroy them quite easily. I think now during this end game, it became quite easier, especially with us having pretty decent armor and really good weapons. But I also think it's really important to gather as many skill points as possible because that's where you can really cater your playstyle to the game. Day 62, I woke up and felt like doing a little bit of gardening. Well, no, not really. A lot of our stuff had fully grown, so I figured we better like go pick it. And then we could go and demand the farmer cooks it all up for us. We then went out and explored a really interesting place. It's called the Smothering Pit. Kind of like your armpits, but not. That was a shit joke. I apologize. Really, we're at the stage of the game where I'm just trying to get myself some skill points and obviously try and kill some things so we can level up. We obviously jumped down there and there was a bunch of enemies, including a big boss, but we handled them with care. I mean, we've killed them. We killed them all. Then took down the shroud route.
Ooh. Oh, there's a whole bunch of tin here. Don't mind if I do. No shroud route, so we can do this for an unlimited amount of time. I'm bored. Let's get out of here.
We also got to take down another couple of shroud routes, number 1 and number 2. Day 63, I was having a bit of fun with our new ghost glider. Basically, I'm just trying to unlock some of these dark patches on our map. That's why sometimes I just kind of turn around when I need to and try and unlock as much as I can. It's low-key crazy that with this glider, I can just look at my map and glide at the same time and not have to worry about it. I eventually landed at this scavenger camp. I didn't need to be here for any reason, but we're beginning to progress quite nicely and get quite powerful. So yes, I wanted to go bully these guys and collect another trophy for our base. I think I did get a little overconfident though. This guy hit pretty hard and I had to freak out and run away. My character build is more of a glass cannon. He hits really damn hard, but can't really take a hit.
Oh, that was close. I almost got blown up by your guts, you fat mother...
This night, we went back to the Pillars of Creation flame altar because I wanted to fly over to this Pillar of Creation pillar, if that's what you call it, and set up another flame altar. I just think this place is a lot cooler. It seems like there's somewhere that I could possibly build a base if I choose to eventually. I don't know. Day 64 is just basically another resource gathering day. We spent a big chunk of this day gathering this clay, like basically all of it. We also made some spice in the laboratory that gave us some glow soup that we can cook up. Then we added some huge chests to our collection here. This looks a lot neater than what we had before, and it's just easier and more satisfying having all of our stuff in the one spot instead of trying to have to access a bunch of other chests. We're really starting to fill up this skill tree, and I'm kind of liking the survivor skill tree too. Just as a general kind of skill tree to follow, it's pretty damn decent. We discovered a new fruit today. I chopped down these palmwood trees and it dropped a yucca fruit.
Oh, yucca. I didn't know that was a thing in this game. cool.
After a long day working the fields, it was time for a good old beauty sleep. Day 65, we checked what we needed to upgrade our flame altar again. Now, most of these ingredients are pretty straightforward, except the yucca fruit and obviously the boss head. We're back at our legendary Sun Temple chest.
Drum roll, please. Oh, Ritual Tempest Wand? Legendary Wand. Oh, it's lightning damage. Let's go.
We'd spent the last 4 or 5 days preparing for this moment here, finding and defeating the Spectre, basically the next boss. One of those keywords that I just said there was finding. Yes, I was struggling to find this freaking place. I even went into Brittle Bush to see if there was an entrance that I had to find. There wasn't, but when I was running around here, it just kept saying that the location was below us. We just had to rely on the good old games mechanics of being able to dig wherever we needed to. Now, if this was Minecraft, I wouldn't suggest you do this. Never dig directly down. I could tell we're starting to get a bit closer when we got into the shroud, and it was probably a big clue when we could see a man-made structure in front of us. Trying to break through this ended up being a little bit more difficult than I expected. This wall was quite tough. In the end, we made it through and encountered our first enemy down here.
Oh, if that's all we have to worry about, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be fine down here. Ouch, that hurt. But you guys will die quickly. Yeah. Man, we are so much stronger than we've ever been.
We fought a bunch of creatures and enemies, and we found this door that had no way to get through it.
Dude, it says we're in the location. Where the frick is the boss?
I seriously couldn't figure out how to get through this area. Maybe going through the side of it probably wasn't the best idea. We did find this button, and we made it through this doorway that led to another doorway that needs a lockpick, and we don't have a lockpick, and we're starting to run out of time here in the shroud. Less than a minute remaining, I found the last button that we had to press that will get us into the room of the big bad boss. But as you can probably tell, we only have 38 seconds left to get out of here, and there's kind of a cheesy way to be able to get out of these situations. Yeah, you just log out. Freshly logged back in, and it's back to the Sun Temple we go. I wanted to quickly search around the area to see if we could find a different way into the Sun Temple. Spoiler alert, we didn't figure it out. I'm too impatient and too frustrated to figure it out. We have one guaranteed way to get in, so we just stuck with that. And this time I knew exactly where the buttons were. Also, since we had logged out, this whole place respawned. That's why we had to dig again and the buttons were reset. We couldn't just run all the way through. But with plenty of time remaining in this shroud, we hit the second button and entered on into the room where the boss should be. Let me introduce you to the Fell Sickle Scythe. Pretty sure this is the same creature that was fighting us at the iron mine as well. When I first got into this boss fight, I had 3 greater health potions. They didn't last very long, but then again, neither did this boss. This kind of just proves that we have a strong attack but really weak defense. It's probably because we've been wearing the same armor since like day 20 or something. With this boss defeated, I wanted to try and find a different way out. You know, maybe like the normal way out, but this place required a lockpick and I forgot to bring one again. So we just had to go out the way we came in. I obviously had to dig my way up, where I dug myself up high enough until I could get out of the shroud so I could just teleport out of there. You see, now that we have defeated that last boss, we've completed most of the main content in this game currently. So what does that mean for us right now? Well, we still have a bunch of other little quests that we can go out and complete. Starting with a quest that we actually should have finished quite a while ago. It's called like the Queen's Tomb or something. We have to get access into these catacombs, which we just jump down through the roof. And the enemies down here are only a level 7, so yeah, we're not too worried about most of the enemies here. After all, you've probably figured out in this game right here, and most games, my biggest danger is, well, me.
Oh, you dumb mother idiot. Oh, stamina, you freaking idiot. Oh my god. You completed this entire game, basically, and you're still idiot.
So apparently this place needs lockpicks, and because it wasn't in the shroud, I could go back to base and make myself some lockpicks. Then I could break into this door that leads me outside. Idiot. Anyways, we managed to locate all the buttons that we needed to press, and using these lockpicks to get into places that actually mattered. There was just this section that didn't even let me use a lockpick to get through, so I had no idea what to do. Although there was a little hole in the wall that I wanted to jump through to get in. The hole was too high, so I figured if I chipped away at the wall below it, maybe I can use that as leverage to kind of jump on through it. Well, that was the idea at first. I realized in the end I could just mine all the way through it and get in, just so we could press this button. Then we were able to make it into this room, steal something out of this coffin, and complete the Queen's Tomb quest. Day 68, I added some more water wells to our base. Why? Because it's good to stay hydrated, folks. Go out and drink some water. Now, you're probably wondering, what's the next goal in this video right now? Basically, I want to try and get some legendary gear. And since we're already level 25, we can't level up. I do want to try and explore some more areas and upgrade my flame altar to its last level. But again, one of my friends gave me a location of a chest that can possibly drop us some legendary gear. This location's hella random, but just under this tree is a pretty magical chest. We didn't get anything decent this time, but we'll try again later. This golden chest was also located in an area that I hadn't explored yet, so I figured I'd peek around and see what I can find in these nooks and crannies. Then we found level 30 spiders. That's crazy that we can only go to level 25 and then there's level 30 creatures. Usually that's a hint that there's going to be more content added, like significantly more. So I think to prepare ourselves for that exact moment, we're going to do some more exploring and try and get some really good gear. This is when we found a place called Deep Cut. It was full of a bunch of people that I'm pretty sure were emos. Get it? Because it's Deep Cut? No, not really, but this was full of level 30 scavengers. They were tough. Although I had the ability to kill them, they could almost one or two shot me. I also set up a flame altar near that chest that we had found, obviously so we could teleport back here whenever we needed. It's funny number day, and today we go AFK for way longer than we should, but we're also farming some legendary gear. If I haven't explained it already, or if you're unaware, you know when we put that flame altar down near this chest? Yeah, you can basically just log in and out as many times as you want until you get the gear that you want. Problem is, this process really affects my ADD and I get hella bored really quick. And I actually know that I need to collect a bunch of yucca fruit so we can upgrade our flame altar. And these plants were nearby. Only problem is, it doesn't drop some all the time. But do you know what can kind of be fun and satisfying to watch? Definitely this. But not like this. More like this.
Ooh, we're out of seeds, but not out of room. Get rid of these and then,
Day 70, I placed a new fireplace in my bedroom. This should give us a little bit of a better comfort score. I then placed some more trophies around the place. Try and fill this big empty room out. Oh, and yeah, that big ass farm that we just planted not long ago at all, it's ready to be picked. Have you ever had chamomile tea in real life? If not, you should try it. I wish it was as good as it is in this game as it was in real life though. Back at the Sun Temple, getting some gear, we got the ethereal plane. It's like a magic shield kind of thing. Oh yeah, you gotta watch out for those red bugs. They like explode in your face. It was here I realized our journal was full of all these side quests, so I went to go complete some easy ones. Most of the time they just send you to chests that have just random loot in them. Other times they'll send you to chests that have some building blocks in them. That could be actually quite handy. And sometimes they're really close to the start area that you should have kind of done them ages ago. Sometimes the puzzles are kind of confusing. Like apparently I'm supposed to be here and destroy some rubble just so I could access the chest that we're looking for. Apparently it's supposed to be on this bridge somewhere. It wasn't. It was actually under the bridge. The location above below thing kind of was a little bit off this time, but we found it. A really useless mace. And on this day we also got led to a city, one that we haven't explored at all. I kind of wish we did a little bit earlier though. This place would have been good for grinding levels. Kind of weird we had to find some treasure in the landfill. I mean, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Day 71, we're still in this little city here. Apparently there's another quest we can complete while we're here. And we have a fun boss that we have to kill. Scavenger Gorga Matron. Yeah, he almost killed me. Obviously, I went in there too headstrong thinking that I was super strong, but I'm not. Remember, good attack, bad defense. But once this big fatty went down, we got the notification that the quest had been completed. And because I'm a little bit of a completionist, as well as wanting to get a little bit stronger, we took down some more shroud roots. I went out and farmed this legendary chest once again. I really need much better armor like these elder trousers and this elder hat.
Yes, this is exactly what I needed.
These eagle-eye gloves might come in handy, but we're trying to go for the mage build, so we need the elder armor. We also scored this legendary helix wand. This one does shroud damage. Do these elder pants look better than the current pants we're wearing? No, not really, but I mean, they do make us a little bit stronger. I will admit though, the elder hat does look pretty damn cool. Let me know in the comments what you think is the best kind of gear. We now have a couple pieces of the elder armor gear. We just need the chest piece, the gloves, and the boots. But ultimately, right now, I'm pretty satisfied with what we have. It's now day 72, and I think it's time we start focusing on upgrading our flame altar. We have a few ingredients, and the other ingredients that we don't have are pretty easy to get our hands on. But first, we came back out to the Nomad Highlands on a bug extermination mission. No, not really. We came to get this chest so we could claim the castle wall stone blocks. Oh, and we managed to pick up some elder boots as well. So now we're only missing a chest piece and gloves. I then came out to the desert so I could cut down these trees in order to get myself some yucca. We need to gather around 40 yucca. Not only are we trying to gather resources to be able to upgrade our flame altar, we're also trying to complete some of the side quests, as long as defeat all the elixir wells. It's this particular elixir well where you can get the well blocks. To upgrade our flame altar, we also need a bunch of sparks. I then came to a VUCA camp so I could murder a bunch of these guys. Also that I could steal this treasure from them that I don't even need. They died for nothing. I then TP'd to multiple locations gathering these sparks. Even even from these bugged locations. Some flame shrines were even in the shroud. Oh, you gotta do what you gotta do to be able to get through this game. Double checking what we needed, and now we only need some iron ore. And obviously we know where to get that. Actually, I think this is like the only place to get it. I don't know if there's anywhere else to get iron. I was kind of lazy to run out of the shroud to be able to teleport out. Instead, I just cut down the shroud route, killed the locals that was living here, and then I was free to teleport home. And now we could finally upgrade our flame altar to its final level, level 6. Upgrading our flame altar to its final level pretty much concludes most of the content in this game. Currently, we have a few little side quests that we can complete, and ultimately we do complete most of them. But if you know me, I like to finish the video off with a bang. We need to fight a boss. I want to fight this guy again because last time he was really hard and I wanted to see if he was still difficult. The short answer, no, he's not as difficult as he was. Could it be the armor that I'm wearing, or could it be the skills that I gained from playing a little bit longer? I'm gonna go with skills. I'm just the best. I know it's day 75, but we're gonna have to leave it here. There really isn't any more content to complete or do in this game. Once they release more content, maybe I'll come back to it and complete it. You guys let me know. Make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Till next time, peace.